And welcome in Gyms and Gymettes. There you go. Those are the words I'm looking for to episode number 120 of the Generates podcast. Oh, fuck. It's so exciting. Fantasy football, football in general. We just had college football week one, just had all out this weekend. Everything was exciting. But before we get into all that, my name is Nick Johnston, one half of the Generates podcast, introducing the other half, Bill Kralis. Well, Bill, how the fuck are you?
Oh, I'm doing good.
There we go.
I'm a little fucking pissed because
Oh yeah.
obviously the computer is not working again today. This thing has been nothing but problems ever since I got it. And I tried to load up today. The computer won't even fucking turn on. So no face for me. I'm gonna fucking call HP and bitch either later or tomorrow. But I'm not gonna let that bring me down because, like Nick said, football's back. We had a great weekend of college football. We had an amazing weekend of wrestling. The Degenerates were at all out at the Now Arena. That was a fucking sick time. We got fantasy, we got gambling, and we got NFL week one right around the corner. So I'm not too fucking I can't stay mad for too long because like Bing Crosby said, this is the most wonderful time of the year, Jim. I don't think that
Absolutely.
song was ever about Christmas. It was about the beginning of football season.
Yeah, I guess so. It had to be. Yeah, no, it was great. I was there. I know you were there. You joined us on Sunday for All Out. That was fun. We just missed the pre-party by a little bit, but honestly, we had 15 matches ahead of us. We had just to pace ourselves and make sure we were gonna make it through the night, but it was well worth it. We got CM Punk as champion again. MJF, spoiler, MJF is back. And yeah, exactly. It's just, but then there's all that fucking, the big altercation that happened. We'll get into all the wrestling and all that fun
Yeah, I
stuff.
feel like the biggest fight of the night was backstage, not even televised,
Yeah,
apparently.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely. But I
hell, we
mean,
just got
yeah.
to make mention. I think one of the matches of the night, tag team championship, acclaimed,
Oh, without
Swerve
a
in Our
doubt.
Glory. We'll get to that later. That was one of the best tag matches ever seen. Obviously, seeing it live was just special. But yeah, we got a lot of wrestling, not too much baseball,
Yeah, I'll keep it light on the
like we said
baseball, like we
last
said.
week. Even got a little bit of fucking basketball news that does pertain to the Bulls.
Apples.
But what do you want to fucking start this episode off with? I hear you got a little rant for us to start this episode.
Yeah, a little bit. Nah, just something that's been, getting to me and making me a little pissed off. Just I don't know if you've seen the last update on YouTube when you click it on your phone and whatnot. I they used to just do the 5 second ads and you can just skip, and then maybe it was like one of two, and then it wouldn't skip to the next one. Now you have to watch two ads and skip it twice. I just think that's just an absolute waste of time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pissing me off. It's absolutely just making my day way harder than it should be. And I'm not a fan. So YouTube, figure it the fuck out. Don't make me watch 5 seconds worth of ads when they're both 30 seconds long or whatever. I don't want to watch any ads. I'm not paying for YouTube Red either. So fuck you. Figure
Yeah.
it
And
out, YouTube.
to sort of piggyback on that, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the little 5 second ads, those are actually 6 seconds. Like it goes
Really?
five, four,
Mm.
three, two, one, and then the 1 to 0 is an extra second, and then you can skip.
So they're lying.
So
So now it's 12
exactly. It's not a
seconds.
five. It's not a five.
And
Yeah,
now you're
it's
making
not
me do
five
math.
seconds.
And
Yeah.
now you're just pissing me off even more. So
I
YouTube,
noticed that
figure it
one
out.
night. I noticed that one night just getting into a wormhole on YouTube and fucking half the time was spent watching ads that I'll never fucking worry about in my life. But that's just how my brain works sometimes. Like I'm weird with everything. I love even numbers. I love cross eyes. I need things to be like I'm very precise. Like whenever I go up and down stairs, I like count the stairs that I climb up and down. I'm retarded. But like
Just
that's one of the things that I did. Like I was watching YouTube videos and I was counting the seconds during the ads, and I was like, "That's 6 seconds, not five." And yeah, they get you that extra second in between the 1 and the 0. So it was
They get you every
bullshit.
single
It's
time.
bullshit. They say it's 5 seconds. It's like
Yeah.
the fake advertising when you go to Wendy's and the baconator is the size of your head. It looks so juicy. And then you go through the drive-through, it looks like some homeless guy diarrheaed in a fucking cup. It's like it's just false advertising all over the place.
Yeah, no, that yeah, exactly. And it's just the one thing you can't get back is your time. So that's why it's just more in just it just makes me more pissed off every single time.
Like
But
there's
yeah.
been I don't know about you, but there's been videos where like I want to watch this video and then I click on it and there's like a unskippable 30-second ad. I don't even watch the video.
I do
I
that
don't
all the
care if it
time. Yeah, no,
I
no, I
don't
do
care
that
if
all
it's
the time.
something like what was the one I watched today? It was about our best friend, Zach Hampel, the most hated man in baseball. And I ended up watching it, but like if that would have came up and like a 30-second ad preceded that video, I would have been like, okay, yeah, this isn't that important. Like, I don't give a fuck
Exactly.
about Zach Campbell to watch a 30-second video or
And
a
then
30
yeah.
second ad or
Not even
whatever.
30. It could be 15. I'm like, fuck that. If it's
Like,
not the
yeah,
5 second skippable ads, I'm like, I'm out. I'm gonna watch something else. I'm just not gonna do that. Not worth my time. But
yeah,
yeah, no, obviously we'll get into all of our AEW events and I'll even talk about a little bit of fan fest. I met a bunch, oh excuse me. One fucking met a bunch of wrestlers, bunch of people over
yeah. He
at
joined
Fan
the
Fest.
Dark Order too.
Yeah, for a little bit, just for a picture. And then yeah, it was all fun and games. But NFL starting right around the corner. We got everything in between fantasy, just gambling. We got to talk about everything. But I have a little fun little tidbit. I saw something, just a current record that may or may not be broken. So we'll just see how it is. Maybe you saw this in the notes, but maybe you don't know. But let's see. Mark Ingram currently holds a jersey record. Do you know what this jersey record might be?
No,
Any
I have
sort of
no
guess?
idea.
Okay, so when he first entered the league, he was drafted, wore 28, and then like 2 years later, I guess again just got bored and switched to 22. Then he left the Saints for a little bit. I think he's on Houston and some other team, yada yada. It doesn't matter. Came back last season and wore 14. So now we're at, for keeping score, that's three jersey numbers right now. Wore 14. Andy Dalton later gets traded to the Saints that later that season. Wants to keep 14. So Mark Ingram has to switch again to number 5. He's now becoming the only player in any franchise to wear four different numbers for one team. And that shouldn't be broken unless someone drafted has just some odd obsession with changing their jersey number. So I just thought that was pretty fun little thing to start off the NFL little thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I get it. I mean, everyone's got their number. I had mine. Like my number's always been 50 throughout, Pee Wee into fucking high school. I always wanted number 50. So I get that everyone has their numbers, but what I don't understand and what I don't like, and it's gonna take some getting used to, is all these players in the NFL switching the numbers now to like single digits. So like
Yeah,
you get like a single digit running back or a single digit. I mean, we've had single digit wide receivers, the single digit linebackers, the single digit
I
safeties.
like
The
that
thing,
though. I think that looks pretty fucking raw.
I have no problem with it. I should say I have no problem. It's just gonna like okay, I don't know
It's gonna
who the
take a
fuck is
minute.
number four.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna take a
Yeah.
second. But I mean, it's sure enough. I mean, that was the last year, obviously being the year that was for being able the first time to switch to that. But if they're drafted now and they keep the same number the entire time, it shouldn't be any sort of change. If they're number 9 in high school or if they're number 9 in college, then they're gonna be number 9 in the league. Like it's
Now
gonna
let me
be
ask a
a
question
simple
and
transition.
get your opinion on it.
Shoot.
Would you be okay with an offensive lineman being a single digit number? Or any number that's not 50 to 79? Would you be okay with like an offensive lineman
He would
wearing
need
number 11 or
it would be a
something?
bold move, but he would need to bring it. Like if
Right?
he's gonna be number one, he's gotta be the center and he's gotta be the best blocker. He's gotta give up no sacks. He's gotta be the ass
Yeah.
kicker.
Or
He's
like
gotta
your
be
Trent
yeah,
Williams, like best
absolutely.
left
Maybe yep.
tackle in the game. And I want number five,
Yeah,
or that's a
personally, I
popular
mean, I
number or
only
something.
trust a lineman that has like exactly like you said, between like 50 and 79. That's exactly where you want them. That's where you want the numbers. That's the only where you're going to trust them. But yeah, I don't know. Uh, a right guard with the number 15. Boy,
Yeah, see, no,
that looks
I
hot.
wouldn't like that. I don't, I like linemen
But I
who
think they're at
don't
the
care
bottom of the
about their
totem
number.
pole. I feel like in terms of who gets to pick their jersey number
Oh
first.
yeah, no one gives a
Yeah,
fuck about us. No one
and
gives a
then
fuck
yeah,
about the
exactly.
linemen.
And then
But I
it's
want
an
linemen
internal
who don't
totem
care.
pole with them.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I want linemen who don't care about their jersey number. The
Oh
nice
yeah.
selfless guys who will like happily wear like 78 or a terrible number like that or like 61. Like the guys who get those numbers and don't say a fucking thing are the best linemen out
Oh
there.
yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that will be a thing of the past. Yeah, I mean that I think that just is already figured out in Pee Wee sports and all that. That's fun. That's always fun to see. Oh man, but I mean, let's see. What do we want to talk about here? Do we want to dip dive right into the a little bit of a Bears preview week one, or do we want to do I don't know, maybe our week one best matchups, best bets, underdog plays? What are we feeling right now? What are we
Yeah, we could start off with the Bears. I feel like that's why everyone's here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everyone's listening. That's why we're here. I mean, football season's here, and I know we don't have the highest expectations for this Bears team, but we're gonna do our best to give you guys our thoughts, break down the fucking matchups, preview next week's. We are gonna next week go back to 2 episodes a week, so this week is just gonna be the strict fucking preview for week one. But
Yeah.
and again, it all depends on when the Bears play. You're either going to be getting episodes Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday, and they are going to be a little shorter just so you don't got to listen to fucking 6 hours of us talking about how much the Bears, the Cubs, and the White Sox suck. But yeah, let's start it off with a little Bears talk.
Bears. So I mean, yeah, San Fran coming in. They're on the road coming into Chicago. San Fran's 6.5 point favorites. I'm seeing the over under at 41 right now on points bet. Points bet, get you go at SYS9. That's for us. Go ahead and get yourself some free bets. But yeah, I'm not. Let's see here. It's going to be the battle of two very mobile quarterbacks. So this is going to be very fun to watch on paper. Justin Fields versus Trey Lance. Going to be uh the last preseason game. It was polar opposites. Justin Fields went off, had a nice little 12 for 14 game, 3 touchdowns, looked very, very, very good. Just emphasizing on all the varies. And Trey Lance was, like I said, on the complete opposite of that spectrum. Got sacked multiple times. I think it was like one for just very, very pitiful. I don't have the stats off the top of my head. Just did not perform very well. Uh, probably got a drive or two more than he should have. Just wasn't ready at that particular time, and they got shut out by the Texans. The Texans preseason team. It's a pretty rough pill to swallow. So they probably brought it in, looked at a lot of tape. I don't know. Obviously, like I said, on paper, maybe the Bears can, if they stay competitive, they can probably cover that. But I don't feel a win. Just like I said, on paper, we're looking at all the at all the I don't know, all the talent compared to ours. It doesn't match up. Debo's a little hurt, so maybe he's not going to hone in as much as they can. But Brandon Ayuk has all the potential to step up and make something happen as well. George Kittle is still there. Trey Lance has a ton of options to throw to, as well as Eli Mitchell on the ground as long as he stays healthy. And just I mean, just a plethora of more backs behind him as well. I think they have 4 running backs in their back room right now, all of which are pretty well established and ready to go. You can put Jeff Wilson Jr. on a pretty solid team, and maybe he can go as well. But I don't know. This isn't looking all too well for the Bears, but there's potential. It's like I said, with Debo not being 100% just yet. There's potential. We're playing on a shitty Bears field, so everyone's gonna be moving a little bit slower. Roquan Smith is gonna be back, probably playing with a chip on his shoulder, ready to go, ready to get paid. So I'm hoping for high intensity, but my expectations are lower to the ground. So anything like an opening touchdown or something like that, that's gonna be like, oh shit, all right, we got a chance. We can go. We can keep this competitive. I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely let me hear what you're thinking right now. I don't know. Can't make a full decision, but I'm like I said, I'm expecting the worst are ready for the worst. But I could see positive happening. But as always, just like we've been saying and previewing the Bears this entire time, just want to see development out of the young guys and just see if we can make any sort of noise. So there you go. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I agree in terms of, Bears winning this game. The chances are very, very low. 49ers got a great roster, one of the best head coaches in football. There's three matchups that I'm excited to look at. Obviously, it's going to be the battle of the middle linebackers with Fred Warner and Roquan. We're finally going to see who the fucking best in the league is, and I hope our boy
Mm.
Rowe uh, shows everybody why he wants that fucking fat extension. Um, I'm gonna love watching like a guy I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Trent Williams, the left tackle for the Niners, going up against Robert Quinn, just set, the single season Bear record for sacks last year with 20 and a half, breaking a record that stood ever since Richard Dent. And I mean, that dude's a Hall of Famer. So that'll be fun to watch those two go at it. But I think I'm not all fully bought in on Trey Lance yet. I do think this team's going to be great. Pick them to win the division. Um, I I see this game right here, and I go back to last year when the Bears played the Bengals early in the season at home, and the Bears got the win there. I think this is a very winnable game for the Bears. I definitely think they can cover that 6.5. Just because of what we've seen out of Justin Fields and the offense moving the ball the last the handful of drives that they did have in the preseason. Now obviously you're going up against the 49ers, who one of the best all-around defenses in the league, which that reminds me, I'm gonna have to go pick up another fucking defense in the family league because I'm not starting the 49ers against the Bears. That's just criminal. Um, but I think early in the season, with the questionable Debo Samuel, your number one target. Elijah Mitchell's finally healthy, but he had that hamstring injury, which
He had
hamstrings,
everything
you're
hurt last year. I had
exact,
him for
yeah,
fantasy. He had like
yeah,
five different body parts injured. I
yeah. And
sorry, I
then
had to cut
even
you off.
in the preseason, he had a little bit of a hamstring injury. Week one, you haven't probably worked that out 100% yet. And especially playing at Soldier Field, you can fucking Ramstein just tore that shit up. You're probably gonna fucking tweak it once or twice again. Um, I think week one on the road, Soldier Field, Trey Lance, who hasn't really shown a lot of people that he's fully ready to take the reins yet. Um, I think this is honestly a winnable game for the Bears. And like I said, it just reminds me of Bears Bengals last year. The defense took over that game, had a couple big turnovers. I think Joe Burrow threw like three interceptions. I think he threw like three or four interceptions, and like three of them were on like back to back to back plays or something like that. It
Something
was
like
some
that. It
crazy
was
stat like that. And
yeah. If
yeah,
it wasn't interceptions, it was just turnovers and
it was
turnover.
turnovers or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. Yeah, and
absolutely.
Roquan returned the one
I
for
think
the
Mixon
touchdown.
fumbled or something like that. So
I think that's what it was. They had three consecutive turnovers on three consecutive offensive plays. So I love the 49ers this year. I love the weapons they got. I love their coaching staff. I do think Trey Lance is going to be miles ahead of Jimmy G in terms of, quarterbacking this team. But week one, against Bears got a decent defense. They're not going to be a top 10 defense, but they're going to cause turnovers. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon. I like what I've seen out of him. Jaquan Brisker at fucking safety. He is a dog. Um, I think it's going to come down to turnovers. Which quarterback can sort of manage the ball, not make that big mistake to sort of put the dagger in their team's hearts. Um, I think it is a winnable game if the defense comes out, puts pressure on the young quarterback. It's going to be tough with that offensive line. They got Mike McGlinchey, fucking Trent Williams at left tackle, but I, I definitely like the Bears plus 6.5. I even think they could potentially win this game if Justin Fields comes out and plays like he did, week three of the preseason.
yeah, you know what? I like that you compared it to the Bengals game last year, and it was similar, like you said, early in the beginning. It was week
Yeah.
3 against the Bengals, and it's in the similar sense. If you seeing that game week 3, you're like, that's a winnable game. And then, but if you were to throw them in week 12 or something like that, you're probably not thinking the same thing at all. You're like, oh, the Bengals are well established. They're ready to go. And I'm kind of thinking the same light. I like that comparison just thinking about it right now. Probably week 1 right now, we're seeing this exactly as it is, just a winnable game. But down the line, if they were playing them week 13 or something like that, we probably
100%
wouldn't
agree.
even be talking about this game.
Yeah.
And and then just thinking about Trey Lance as well, and it's and again throwing up another name that you just brought up, Jimmy Garoppolo, just sitting there waiting in the wings. If Trey Lance can't get it going right away, who's to say that Jimmy Garoppolo can't just be the bus driver that he always has been, and just get it to the guys that can go, and then they're just gonna run it probably down our throats. This shit can happen, but sure enough, if Justin Fields puts it together and looks like week 3 preseason Justin Fields, it can be a winnable game, if a covering game, if not just a straight out win. I mean, it's possible. Uh, Possibly a low scoring affair. I'm not going to bet on over unders, but I see that 41, and I'm not jumping the bit. I mean, that could be a low scoring game this entire time. So I don't know. I'll stay hopeful, and I'll be watching that game. It's a noon game, so it's a good time for the Bears to play. So uh, be
It's a
hopeful.
noon game on Fox on 9/11. We're going to have the fucking flag that's the size of the stadium or the size of the field. We're going to have the flyover. Jim Cornelison, hopefully he's singing the national anthem and no cocksuckers fucking Kaepernick's probably going to take a knee on the 49ers sideline. He's not even on the team anymore. I think just and then you got the unproven rookie quarterback, not rookie, but second year
Second year, and he
starting
played
his
only
first
half the
game.
year. And I mean, a
Yeah,
lot of fantasy guys they're all banking on him to be, maybe like you can get him late in fantasy drafts and bank on him to be maybe a top 5 quarterback, but they're only doing that because could possibly rush for so many yards, and he's averaging X amount of rushes per game. If the Bears can contain Trey Lance just in terms of their rushing and just make him have to throw the ball, I feel like they again winnable, 100% winnable. Make Trey Lance prove that he can just sling the ball, and I mean it's possible. If they beat the Bears that way, I can live with that. But if you just let Trey Lance run all over the place like it's a playground, then it just looks embarrassing, obviously, and then you can just probably just see like, oh, okay, he's gonna probably be the real deal. And like I said, just overall, it's gonna make the team look bad. But being positive, it can just in containing Trey Lance and making him have to throw the ball, prove that you're an actual quarterback and maybe just not one of these running back converted into quarterback type deals. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited because, like I said, expecting ready for the worst or whatever. You can be expecting some for the best as well, but I don't know. All around fucking football's back. Can't fucking wait. I mean, this is all too great. Any final wrapping up thoughts on the Bears pre week 1?
yeah. No, I think that's about it. Definitely look for. We're gonna get Robbie Gold back in Chicago. So, and fans are gonna, they did him dirty. He probably shouldn't have been a Bear for life, but he'll get a nice standing ovation or a nice, a hand after making an extra point or a field goal or something like that.
Yeah, he'll get a
The
clap.
Bears
Yeah,
fans are gonna give him a clap or two. Yeah,
absolutely.
good to have fucking Robbie back in
Yeah. As
Chicago.
long
I
as it's
wish
not
he
a
would have.
game-winning field goal dagger from like 49 yards out or something like that. That's the
Yeah, or
only
what the
way.
game from maybe what was it 4 or 5 years ago where he single handedly beat the Bears. I think he had
Yeah,
like
like
5 field goals.
yeah,
It
it
was
was
like yeah,
15 to not like 15 to
yeah,
12 or something like that. Yeah, just
yeah.
a brutal loss. He literally, yeah, exactly like you said, single-handedly won that game. Um, well, like I said, if you're ready like I am, we can dive into week 1, maybe some of your favorite matchups, who you're looking forward to. Don't want to, obviously, there's a whole slate. Everyone's playing. It's week 1. Don't need to dive into every single game. They got some fucking some really shit can games, obviously. Not every game can be Bills Rams Thursday night. So, uh, like I said, dive into some of our favorite matchups this week, maybe some of our best bets, and maybe like I said, they got an underdog play or two if you want to want to jump on that? What are we feeling?
Yeah, we can highlight a couple games we like. I
Okay.
personally I got three of them, three games that are going to be must watches for me.
Okay.
And it looks like they're all on at different days and different times, so be able to watch each of these games
Okay.
from beginning to end. But
Yeah.
I think we could start it off by just talking about the Thursday night game to
Awesome.
start it off. Bills Rams coming up Thursday on NBC. Rams are at home, but Buffalo on the road are 2.5 point favorites. You get the Super Bowl champs back in LA up against the team who, fuck, I think should have been in the Super Bowl last year. Definitely AFC front runners this year. The Bills. Mitch Trubisky, less Bills. I know he's moved on. Then that'll definitely take away from their success this year, not having Mitch as QB2. Um, but this is going to be a hell of a way to start off the season. Last year we had, I think it was what Bucks Cowboys on Thursday Night Football, and it came down to the very last second. A great way to kick off the season. Bills Rams. Um, what are your thoughts on this game? It's sort of same thing with the 49ers. I like the Rams this year, but I do think they're going to get off to a little bit of a slow start. And that's why I'm loving the Bills in this game, -2.5. I think they can cover that 2.5 even on the road.
Got a lot of people saying it, and I kind of agree. It's the usual. Going to be coming off the Super Bowl hangover. They're going to be doing the ring ceremony, putting up the banner and whatnot. I love the Bills in this game. I'm not maybe not going to hammer it. I'll put respectable little play on the money line or the spread. I think it's just sitting at 2.5. And what's
Yep.
basically, I know they're playing in Los Angeles, but who's really a diehard Rams fan there? It's essentially a neutral site. I would feel the diehard Buffalo Bills fans will 100,000% get on a flight and go to Los Angeles for this game or something like that. So, uh, I love it. I mean, the Bills are going to be playing with just an absolute chip on their shoulder, like you said. Could have possibly been in there. Uh, wasn't that not the 15 seconds or whatever that they could have just whatever, and then the overtime.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
all the overtime shit with the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, while this is going to be awesome, probably one of the two of the top, arguably they're probably going to finish top five defenses in the league with the Rams and the Bills. Uh, you're gonna love the quarterback matchup, Josh Allen versus Stafford. I'm loving all the wide receiver matchups. This is
Yeah,
gonna be
Diggs
fun.
against
This is gonna be
Ramsey
so
is
much
going to be
fun.
fun, man.
Yeah,
Diggs against Ramsey is going to be fun, and I know some people have said Ramsey's fallen off the last year or two. He's still the best corner in the game, even if he has,
hmm
regressed a little bit. He's still the best corner in football. Diggs, who I'm high on because I got him in one of my fantasy leagues, and then I think he's just the best route runner in football. That dude knows how to get open. So,
absolutely. He'll find
yeah,
himself, hopefully, maybe for a touchdown or two, just again because I have him in a fantasy league as well. But I mean, a guy like Gabe Davis can step up and have a nice game. I have him in another fantasy league, and a lot of people are also saying like Isaiah McKenzie. Maybe a stretch, but they're third guy. Dawson Knox could possibly have a good game as well. But I mean, I wouldn't rely on any sort of running back if you're looking at fantasy wise in this game. But this is gonna be so much fun, and what a great
yeah,
opening Thursday night game. Like I said, I'll be rooting for the Bills in this sense,
yeah, same here.
just for I guess betting and I guess for fantasy and just I don't know. I like the Bills a lot. I like this Bills
Let's
team a lot.
see. Over under is at 52.5 right now. Bills -130 on the money line.
I
Rams
mean, it
plus
seems
112.
easy. It seems easy. You got two of the top offenses, but like I just said, you're gonna have two of the top defenses right there as
Yeah.
well. So I mean,
I'm probably fading the over under. I'd throw the Bills money line in like a parlay, but I think my bet for this game, I'm gonna take just 2.5. I'm gonna take the Bills to win this by 3.
yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Like I said, that was one of my matchups as well. Um, just for now, I don't have a deep dive in on this game, but I really like Steelers Bengals. I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, the Bengals coming off their Super Bowl appearance. maybe they're gonna like kind of what we said is we're gonna establish if Joe Burrow's the man or if he's whatever or if it's just the team around him. But also, I mean, what are the Steelers? It's gonna be a lot of stuff there. Again, just for me, I'll be looking at again fantasy. I see Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. I don't have Jamar Chase in any leagues, but the first two guys, I'll be looking at. Joe Mixon. I mean, and then of course we're gonna be able to see is Mitch gonna be able to stay in games? Is he gonna be able to be the guy for them, or well, is it Kenny Pick? I get it. I get it. I'm gonna get it wrong every single
Kenny
time this
Pickett,
time. It's
yeah.
Kenny Pickett. Okay, and then they got George Pickens as the wide receiver. There we go. My stupid brain will remember that eventually. So Kenny Pickett possibly making his way in even in week one. Who knows? But again, entered in an in division game, and like we always make mention too, Mitch got a soft spot in our heart, so gonna keep that maybe on the side TV or just maybe really focus in on it when it's on red zone. So what do you think on that game, if anything at all?
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to see, the MVP of the league going up against going up against fucking Joey B and the Bengals. I think 44 and a half. That man, these fucking people in Vegas know what they're doing. I'd honestly take the under in that though. Um, I think the
I think
Bengals can score.
it's
I think the
in
Bengals will be able
Cincinnati,
to
right?
score.
Yeah,
It's in Cincinnati. Steelers still got a great defense. The Bengals are going to score. The Steelers might not score a point with Mitch. So
possibly.
I think that one can be like a
And we'll see if Najee Harris is good to go, or if he's if
yeah,
or if fantasy owners should be wary. We'll see about that as
yeah,
well.
44 and a half. I'm getting like 23-13, 21-17
Yeah,
vibes in that game right there. So I'd probably take the under in that one. It'll always be good to see our boy Mitch playing that one, but I'll take the Bengals to win
yeah.
that one at home.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What was your next game that you were looking
Next
forward to?
game, fast forward into Sunday, 3:25 p.m. from LA. We get the Chargers and the Raiders. We've been
Yes.
talking about the AFC West, I mean, for weeks now. That's going to be one hell of a matchup. That's my pick right there, the Chargers to win that division. But honestly, who the fuck knows when it comes to this division? Um, it's going to be a fun matchup. Over under set at 52 and a half. Just all the weapons, all the offensive weapons we're going
I'm
to
not
be able
gonna
to
do
see in
it, but
this
I'll take
game.
the over in that game. That
Yeah,
sounds
I might
awesome.
too. Like honestly, just
Just to have
all the
fun.
names. You got Devonte Adams, Waller, Hunter Wenflo,
And
and then even what's the fucking I always
Mike
Josh Jacobs
Williams.
at
Yeah.
running back.
Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then on the other side you got Eckler, Keenan Allen, I already said Josh Jacobs, Mike Allen, Herbert. You just the names on each side, and then even on defense, you got studs on each side. You got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. You got ballers on each side. This is going to be such a fun game to watch.
And
I
yeah.
hope this is the fucking CBS game. I hope we get
Oh,
Jim
without a
Nance and
doubt, this will
Tony
be a yeah.
Romo.
Jim,
Jim.
Jim,
Um,
Jim,
this is
Jim,
going to be a must
Jim.
watch game right after the Bears, but fuck the 49ers on Sunday. We're going to be at the compound. This is going to be a must watch game for me. Like I said, over under 52 and a half. I'd probably take the over just because fuck it, betting the under. Life's too short to bet the under.
Yeah. I think we
Plus
said
3.5 for
every.
the Raiders.
Oh, go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry, my bad. Plus 3.5 for the Raiders. Not even gonna mess with the spread there. I'm just gonna bet on the over and hope for a fucking shootout, an amazing football game.
Yeah, I think we said every single AFC West division matchup. That's going to be one of the games to watch, whether it's 12, 3:25, 7 o'clock, or if it's 9 a.m. in London or some shit. So that's going to be always one of those fucking games to watch. Full disclosure, I put in the next part. I just put every 3:25 game except for the Giants and Titans is what I really want to watch. So, I mean, if I really want to pick and choose what I want to talk about next, Packers Vikings. I mean, that like I've already said, this is the Vikings season, whether they know it or not. This is their season right here in week one. They need to win this game if they want to win the division. That's about it. I mean, You got a ton of weapons, you got a ton of options. Justin, I mean, while you're looking at it on paper and saying, "Oh, Jesus, Kirk Cousins," he's about the best average guy you're gonna get. He gets very overlooked. He gets single digit interceptions just about every season. You like that? You better fucking like that because he's gonna have to come in, be your guy, throw to Justin Jefferson, maybe get a little. Is that
I still
KJ
can't believe
Osborne?
these donkeys let Justin Jefferson fall to 10.
Yeah, it
Um,
happens. That's.
yeah, yeah, that's what you are, Uncle Alex. If you're listening, you donkey.
Oh my
God,
lord.
how'd you let me get him at 10?
Oh Jesus. Yeah, that's like I said, that's a solid back to back right there. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, they're gonna need to ball out. You got Delvin Cook, maybe with his little machine on his shoulder, ready to go. The device is ready to go. I've heard some talks that they might be wanting to trade Alexander Madison up to 12 teams in the
Yeah,
potential realm. So that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna be looking at him for I don't know, maybe if he goes to a place like the Texans or some shit like that. That's gonna be pretty it's gonna fuck up their backfield all and all that, but he would definitely be the clear cut number one. He's
yeah.
proven it every single time that he's gotten the start in replacement for Delvin Cook that he
Or
just
even a
puts up.
place like Washington, they got a decent offensive line over there.
Yeah.
Send him to like Kansas City. I feel like that would be a decent little
Oh
fit
my,
for him.
yeah.
Or even like the Seahawks. I mean, fucking Rashad Penny's good, but they got the rookie Kenneth Walker. I feel like he's been injured ever since training camp started with that was it like a groin injury or something like that?
Yeah.
And groins are no good. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, a lot of teams would definitely be in the market for Madison.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of like everyone sees the Packers as the clear cut favorite in this division. But can the Vikings step up and just make some noise, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, we're fucking here." Be the live up to their actual name. Fucking break down the door, start some shit, scavenge, rip and tear, and just fucking I don't know, break the Packers apart, win this game week one. I don't. I have them as part of my one of my underdog plays, just Vikings money
Yeah,
line plus
I
105.
Yeah, I like that too. And I mean, there are 10 teams week one that are home
Oh
underdogs. How many fucking,
wow.
yeah, that's crazy. You got the Seahawks, Dallas, the Vikings, Arizona, the Bears,
Yeah, it's got some
the
money to be made,
Bears, the
honestly.
Jets, exactly, the Texans, the Falcons, the Lions, and the Rams. Actually, so you got 11 teams that are
Holy shit.
home underdogs this weekend. I don't think there's a bigger out of those 11. If I had to pick one for my life, I would take the Vikings.
Yeah.
I would take the Vikings to beat the Packers week one. I mean, they're vulnerable. You heard it during the preseason that Aaron Rodgers is having trouble connecting with some of these
Yeah, you've
younger
heard
wide
mixed. It's been
receivers.
mixed, but I mean, for the
Yeah,
most part, it's out of Rogers' mouth. You've heard him just frustrated that these rookie guys can't get it done exactly. But I mean,
yeah.
for the
So
most part, some of them can maybe figure it out. They're gonna probably rely on Alan Lazard, but I'm convinced that they're gonna also just rely on Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So if the Vikings run defense is gonna have to fucking hold it down, and then only after that will the Packers probably have to start dinking and diving, finding 15-yard little passes to throw to. I found out that they were actually they managed the ball. I forgot how you say the stat, but it took them the longest time to snap the ball and to end a play. That was they were the last in the league at that. So that means that when they have the ball, they're gonna try and take as much time as possible, probably just because they don't have as much talent as they used to anymore. So Vikings are just gonna have to make turnovers. That's literally the game. Get the ball out of their hand, be efficient, and probably do the exact same thing. Maybe not score too fast and give Aaron Rodgers the ball and give him the opportunity to shed time and eventually just get down there and score. Play a little bully ball, sure, but you got to be efficient with not only the time, but just actually when you do get down there, make sure you score. And then sure enough, plus 105 right there at home, it's doable. It's right
yeah,
there. That's your season.
I
Whether
think it
they
is.
know it or not, that's the season right there. Week one is your season. Uh, did you have any more, or did you want to just quickly go over the other ones that I had?
Yeah, I think the one other game that I was looking forward to, and that's I think it's just going to be the Sunday night game between the Bucks and the Cowboys.
Mhm.
We had an amazing game. What was it? Last year, Thursday night, like I said, if that was the opening, it was the opening game of last year. Came down to the last second. Cowboys came up just short. They're another home underdog this year. Yeah, you've again sort of uh, with Aaron Rodgers and the Patriots, you heard a little frustration with Tom Brady not being at training camp. A lot of people asking questions, oh, just personal stuff, blah, blah, blah. There were reports that he didn't want to be there in the first place, and that's why he retired. He wanted to go to Miami. So you don't really know. The Bucks are still a great team. I think the best roster, up to top to bottom in the league. But um, still a lot of fucking questions on this team, and I know the Dallas Cowboys. There's always questions around Zeke. I think they lost Tyron Smith, which that's gonna suck for them for a little bit. And then they obviously lose Amari Cooper, but I still think this is a winnable game for the Cowboys. I don't know if I'm gonna honestly take them to win. I think I'll take their plus 2.5, plus 3. Um, but this is going to be a fucking fun game just because of the fact that we started last season off on an absolute banger with this game. So we got it Thursday night last year. We got it Sunday night this year. We got Tom Brady under the fucking lights. It's just going to be a must watch game.
And honestly, it could be a complete run back. They probably the Bucks could blow them out early and be like 20 up 21-3, 21-10 really early, and it could be ending 27 or like, I don't even know if the math comes out correctly on that, but like 28-30 to 23 or something like that, or 20-30 to 25 or something like that. Either way, I feel like you're kind of on something. They could end up covering, but not winning. Uh, but the Bucks have, while they still look very good, we've talked about it again. That offensive line is a little depleted. They've lost a lot of big names due to injury, due to retirement. I think maybe one or two even gotten traded or something like that. But it and then yeah, Tom Brady coming back from this weird hiatus, whether he was on the Masked Singer or whether he was dealing with something at home, or whether it was just anything at all. Maybe he just didn't want to, just wasn't feeling fucking training camp. He's 45 years old. He's got stuff, man. Uh, I don't know. Still a very winnable game. Can never it'll be just my luck that as soon as I draft Tom Brady in a fantasy league, he's gonna start fucking off and being bad. So I don't know. I still like the Bucks. On paper, they still probably have the better team. Uh, I like Lenny over Zeke and that line in general. So we'll see how it goes. I still like it. I like that that's gonna be the Sunday night game for sure. I just had one more game. Chiefs Cardinals. I feel like it's gonna be so much fun to watch. Even without Hopkins for the Cardinals, gonna be very interesting to see who we can go to. Zach Ertz, I think he was dealing with a calf injury, didn't really play anything or at all preseason wise. But Mahomes versus Kyler Murray, that's gonna be very fun to watch. Again, I mean, just like the Cardinals have pieces missing, Chiefs had them missing as well. Uh, Tyreek Hill obviously gone to the Dolphins. You have Juju coming in, probably not going to come in and do the exact same things that Tyreek Hill used to do, but definitely a good name and a good talent to have. Probably going to see some other guys step up, and of course, they're just going to have their workhorse with Travis Kelsey. I feel like it's going to be fun. I don't have the line in front of me, but it could be a very
53
fun.
and a half.
There you go. I was feeling it,
Yeah.
just not even looking at it off the top of my head. But like I said, I feel like that was just gonna be a high scoring affair, and sure enough, the total reflects that.
Yep, that
I
is the
love it.
highest over under on the week, Jim.
Yeah,
53 and a half from Glendale, Arizona.
yeah. Like I said, gonna be very fun to watch. Some very high scoring offenses probably throughout the entire year. It has the potential to start off slow, but I feel like it could end very, very explosively. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, this will be an awesome game. I really hope the Cardinals get off on. Okay, I should say this. I hope Kyler Murray gets off to a hot start, but the Cardinals as a team lose because one, I really want to see if this Kyler Murray Call of Duty like regression is real. Like his stats at the beginning of this every season is crazy. And then once Call of Duty comes out, his stats get worse. So
What?
that,
What?
yeah, you didn't hear about
No, I
this?
have not heard
Yeah,
about
it's
this.
a real thing. Like through the first like 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season, he's unstoppable. And then every year when the Call of Duty I forgot who it was. This is not a joke. Someone did like actual research on this.
Oh my
And
god.
whenever Call of Duty drops, he has bad weeks during
Oh
like the
my
first two,
god.
three, 4 weeks of the release of the game. So I hope he gets off to a hot start because I'm gonna be buying the new Modern Warfare 2 or 4 or how many fucking Modern Warfares are there? Pick a fucking name. You had Modern Warfare 2 in 2010, and now you got another Modern Warfare 2. Make up your mind. It's stupid. What are you going to do in 3 years or 2 years when you have Madden 25? You already had Madden 25 with Adrian Peterson on the cover. He beat his fucking kids at an airport. But whatever.
It'll be
I'm
Madden
not going to fuck
25 2.
Madden 25. Yeah, some dumb shit.
The
It's probably going to be
return.
Madden 25. Yeah, some dumb shit. But whatever. So I hope he gets off to a hot start to see if this fucking Call of Duty jinx is for real. But on the flip side, I hope the Cardinals struggle because I'm interested in the hard knocks and I want to see that fucking locker
Mm.
room fold from the inside
You
out.
just want the
Fucking strange,
drama.
exactly, Stranger Things style. Fucking Kyler Murray's over here with the Call of Duty. James Conner has cancer.
Oh my
Fucking Cliff
god.
Kingsbury's a racist. It's just like the Demogorgon poking holes in the upside down. Hopkins is on PEDs. They're probably going to sign Adam Pac-Man Jones. He's going to punch some dude at a Starbucks. It's just so and Hard Knocks has been awesome with the Lions. We got
Oh
the
yeah.
season finale tonight.
Tonight. Can't wait.
Unfortunately, I fucking did you see episode 4 yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you saw the David Blau injury,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, like he did so great to cement that second spot, and then I got the ESPN update that he got fucking cut, and I was like, are
Yeah,
you
unfortunately I did
kidding,
too.
bro?
I think it was one of the fantasy podcasts that I listened to. They
Yeah, it was
they they
horse
broke
shit.
it. I was like, God damn, like it's
Yeah,
good that you informed me because obviously for fantasy, but I'm obviously not gonna use David Blau any fucking time soon
yeah,
on my
no.
team. But
But I wanted him to
damn it.
just have that spot
Yeah.
because of his spot in the show, you know.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that all that time they dedicated to him and
yeah,
his
they
wife.
brought in his
What are they gonna
wife.
do? What
Exactly.
are they gonna do? Well, now I'm connected to this family. I don't know what to do. He'll get picked
Yeah,
up probably.
so yeah, the hard knocks with the Lions has been great. I feel like if this Cardinals team who has such high expectations and all the offseason drama with Kyler Murray and the contract and the film and the Call of Duty double XP weekend, he wanted that gold camo. I just can't wait to see the drama if like middle of the season they're 5-7 and they're struggling, but so are the Niners and the Rams, and they're still in contention in the West. And we need Kyler to stop fucking playing Call of Duty until
And
2 in the
drinking
morning.
Mountain Dews because he just needs double
Yeah.
XP every day.
He's just you got the camera guys following him around at home. He's at a Shell gas station getting bags of Doritos for the double XP codes, and they're like, Kyler, what are you doing? You should be at home getting ready. You got a game at you got to be at the stadium at 8 in the morning. He's just like, double XP, the P90. I want the diamond camo. It's probably not how he sounds, but you catch my drift.
Oh,
So I
he's
hope
very
he does
small,
good.
so yeah, he probably has like a
Yeah, and
very
I
high
hope the
pitched
team
voice.
loses. I hope the team's losing so we get that drama filled hard knocks.
Yeah, no,
But
I feel
yeah,
you on
that's
that.
gonna be fun. We're gonna take the Chiefs minus 5.5. I don't know. I'm not even gonna bet that game. I'm just gonna
I don't
watch it.
know. I don't know. I got that a little bit later. I'll tell you what. But yeah, that's our favorite matchups. I feel like though, right there. You got any favorite bets you got? I got some. I got a few best bets right here if you want.
Let's see. The only bet I have as of right now, which every week I like to put together a 2, 3, 4 team money line parlay. I'll pick some other props. Me, Nick, and I'll post them on the Twitters for you guys to see. Ride with us, don't ride with us. Fuck you, whatever. I just put together a 3 team money line parlay for week 1. Comes out to plus 139. I think it's pretty simple. We're going to take the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Texans. They're minus
Okay.
330. We're going to take the Baltimore Ravens to beat the New York Jets. the Zach Wilson-less Jets, the Joe Flacco-led former Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Ravens, Joe Flacco. It doesn't matter. The Ravens are going to stomp his head in. And then we're going to take the Denver Broncos on the road Monday night to beat Drew Big Cock Lock in Seattle. So yeah, we're gonna take the Colts, the Ravens, the Broncos. That comes out to plus 139. Boosted on points bet. You get the extra 10, 15, 20%. Um, yeah, that's gonna be my fucking pick for the weekend. The Colts, the
Absolutely.
Ravens, and the Broncos.
Oh yeah, make sure you do that with the points bet. Every when you do a 3-leg parlay or more, you get
Let's see.
what,
I'm gonna go
20% boost?
while
Yeah.
you're typing, yeah, while you're talking right here, I'm gonna go type that in and see what the boost would be
There we go.
be at on points bet.
For sure, for sure. So I got some straights that I like right now. I as of when I looked last night, these were the odds on points bet. Points bet, code SYS9. Eagles -4. I like that at -115. We've been talking up the Lions and whatever, and they had a very good 10-6 last year, 10-7 against the spread, 11-7, 11-6. I just the 4 points to the Eagles, who are probably going to run it, take control. They have Jalen Hurts, who's going to looking forward to probably just stepping up and, like I said, making his name worth something. I like the Eagles -4 coming in on the road. Doesn't matter. I'll take the Titans -5.5 as well. They're just gonna beat the shit out of the Giants. I don't know why or how. Maybe the Giants have any sort of fight. I don't see it. Fuck them. They suck. Sorry, Julian Love, but it is what it is. Uh, Titans -5.5. I like the coaching a little bit better. And I think just Derrick Henry is just going to run it down everyone's throat. It's going to be a Derrick Henry game. It's a tough look when Robert Woods is your number one, but they're really liking Traylon Burks a little bit more than what they were letting up in the offseason.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, so they'll be looking to go his way a lot. Like I said, not you're not scared of Brian Tannehill, but as of these last couple of years, you've seen that he can just take control of what this team is already. So I like that. -5.5 is at -105. Uh, if you just parlay their money lines, the Eagles and the Titans money line, it comes out to +110. And I like this one. If you take that +110, just like I said, Eagles money line, Titans money line, that's +110. Then you take those two and you add the Ravens money line, comes up to +179. And I'm sure if you do that little boost, it'll probably be like what? Probably like plus 200,
Yeah, I think it's
215,
like a
something
10
like
or
that.
15% boost. I forgot
Yeah,
exactly off the top of my head.
there you go.
I
So
did the
that's
math.
worth it, I think.
My bet, which is one plus 139 on FanDuel, comes out to plus 133 on points bet. With the daily boost, goes up to plus 150.
There
So
you
get a
go.
couple extra dollars there.
And yeah, it's not just the one boost. You get two boosts. So if you like a same game parlay with three
Oh
legs
yeah.
or more, you can hit that as well. Of course, do that with the code SYS9. And I like two underdog plays. One of them we already talked about, Vikings money line +105. And I don't know if it's maybe an underdog play necessarily, but obviously they're in the plus. Cardinals +4, -110. I'm willing to even say money line +165. I think it's a possibility that the Cardinals can win this game.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a bold move. Maybe this could be the judging game. Like the storyline's been all off season. Did Pat Mahomes make Tyreek Hill? Did Tyreek Hill make Pat Mahomes? It's like I said, it's a bold one. Cardinals defense isn't the best, but is if they put pressure on Mahomes, it's possible. Definitely possible. I mean, like I said, week one, when everyone's still getting figuring it out, uh yeah, I don't know. I guess probably in the same boat like we said in the Bears preview. If this is down the line, if this is like week 9, week 10, I'm probably not gonna touch the money line. But week one, where everyone's basically 100% and fresh, it's almost like even playing field. Give me the Cardinals. I like that.
There you go. Yeah, I can see them winning that game too. I mean, they got the firepower, they got the
Absolutely.
weaponry.
Absolutely. If you had no other games, anything like that for week one, we can go ahead and get into our AFC South breakdown. This will be our
Yeah,
last division breakdown. Obviously, we did all 8 right now. This will be the last one that we need to do. The AFC South breakdown brought to you by PointsBet. I've already said the code 17 times already, but I'll say it again. SYS9. Go get yourself two risk-free bets up to $2,000. Available here in Illinois, New Jersey, Iowa, and New York. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta be 21 and over to play. 1-800-GAMBLER. If you have any problems. Like I said, AFC South breakdown. Colts, Titans, Texans, Jags. We got our usual big questions, largest ad drops, MVP, division winner, team totals, props, and to make or miss the playoffs. Who are we feeling? Who you want to start off with right away of the Colts, Titans, Jags, Texans?
Let's get the Texans out of the way.
Oh, good one. Get the shit out of the way. Obviously. Let's take a look. See. I only have a couple questions on the Texans. Not didn't really take too much time on them. They're going to be so fucking bad. They're not they're not favored in any one of their games this season. I went ahead and take a look at that. So I'm the potential for 0 and 17. If you like the plus 800, I think it is on PointsBet. Feel free. I like that. I like that a little bit as well. Uh, Texans questions. I mean, everyone's hopping and jumping and skipping. The big thing is, what is Damian Pierce going to do? He got the number one starting role. Marlon back got cut, and then he's back on the practice squad. Uh, is this guy all cracked up to what he's supposed to be? He was a third round pick. He obviously he's been passed up on the Texans, and then other people passed up on as well. So I don't necessarily get all the hype, but there's a ton of potential. So we'll see right then and there. Lovey Smith, I believe, is now the head coach once again. So what is he going to do coming in? It's basically my largest ad drop for them is Lovey Smith, because essentially I don't know anybody else besides what Mark Ingram last year leaving them. Uh, I don't know. I think they cut Philip Lindsay. I honestly have no idea. Texans are going to be very, very bad. I'll just preview it right now. My only prop on them is for them to have the worst record in the league at plus 600. So, what are you feeling on the Texans, if anything at all?
No, I'm not feeling anything. I mean, I look at this team, and my dick goes inside me.
Yeah,
It's fucking ugly. I will say there are a couple bright spots, and I won't even. There, I guess you can call them bright spots. I mean, Brandon Cooks on this team. Uh, that dude is very underrated. No matter where he goes, he produces. I think he has 7 straight 1,000 yard seasons. And he's had a plethora of different quarterbacks throwing him the ball throughout his career. So Brandon Cooks, I feel like that's the only player, prop wise, fantasy wise, I would have any confidence taking. Um, Definitely the running back Damon Pierce. Once he's established as that number one, I think he'll be a go-to in fantasy leagues. He'll be, he's going to be a must start. I mean, the volume's going to be there.
But
He's a
I mean, I'm sorry, but is he really? I mean, the Texans are going to run the ball like they usually do in the beginning, but they're going to be trailing every single game.
Oh
Are they
yeah, that's
really
what
going
I'm
to
saying.
have? Yeah,
The receiving upside is going to be there too.
yeah. If you're in a PPR, I see the upside in that, but otherwise, yeah, I don't see all too many rushing yards and rushing
Yeah.
touchdowns coming from
No,
Damian
neither
Pierce.
do I. Neither do I.
It's good if you
And
got
then
him. It's good. It's good potential to rely on that. 'Cause obviously, being a number one, there's a ton of potential, but I don't see it.
yeah, and then the other guy, their quarterback Davis Mills, long neck Mills, didn't have the worst season last year. 16
Oh,
touchdowns, 10 interceptions. A lot of people were saying if he would have waited another year and played another year at Stanford, he could have been the number one quarterback off the board this year, like ahead of Kenny Pickett. So
wow.
yeah, so there was a lot of praise for this guy back in college. A lot of people drew comparisons, and it has to be just because of the Stanford thing. But a lot of people were drawing comparisons to like Andrew Luck, and I'm sorry, but let's not compare the two because Andrew Luck was one of the best quarterbacks, to come out of college, and he succeeded in the NFL, short career, a lot of injuries, but
I don't know
in
if you
terms of
saw on the past, like, Pardon My Take interview. It was the former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He said that was the best quarterback he's ever worked with, and he only worked with him for a
okay,
year. He said that
So
was a
maybe there was. Fuck.
what was the former Buccaneers head coach? I can't even think of his name.
Todd Bowles?
No, not him. I think
No.
he's current right now.
Arians, Bruce
Yeah,
Arians.
Bruce Arians said
Okay.
just in oh my goodness, in Andrew Luck's rookie year, he said that was the most talent he's seen in a quarterback, and he just worked with Tom Brady last season, 2 years ago, winning a Super Bowl. So that's high praise.
Okay, so I bet other than those three dudes, not a lot of guys to look forward to on this team. I agree. Probably gonna have the worst record in the league. I'm just excited because week 3 they play the Bears. I'll be there at Soldier Field. It'll be nice to see Lovey Smith there. He'll get a nice ovation. I mean, fuck, only coach since Ditka to lead us to a Super Bowl. So, Lovey will always be loved here in the city of Chicago. No pun intended. Uh, so yeah, the 3-0 in the fucking 3-0 in the preseason. It might not get 3 wins this whole regular season.
Oh
So
no, I
I
have them
agree
at
with you.
2. Yeah, if we're looking at team totals right now, their totals at 4.5. I'm hammering the under at I see they got it at plus money at plus 100 on points bet. Under four and a
Wow.
half. I see possibly 2, if any at all. But like I said, they're not favored in any game that they play. This might be the
Yeah.
easiest future I've ever crossed
Yeah,
upon. And
looking at it,
yeah.
they could beat the Jaguars at home on New Year's Day.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They
getting. I'm giving
they
them the split
yeah,
there, and
they could win against the Commanders maybe depending on how that team
no,
comes out.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the command honestly, the Commanders are dog shit. I think the Commanders
Hey,
would probably
that's the
whip the
second
Texans'
closest
ass.
spread for them on the season though. I
Don't they
mean,
play the Jets? Don't they play like they play another team
they
like
don't play
that?
the Jets.
I know they
No, they
play the
don't play the
Bears, which is
Jets.
one of the games I was like, oh, this might be a game that the Bears might overlook just because they're the Texans.
They
But I
play the
mean,
Jaguars twice.
yeah, yeah,
Week 5, they are minus the Jaguars are minus 3.5. Week 16, Jacksonville on the road is minus 1.5, and then the second closest line for the Texans is that Sunday. It looks like a Sunday day game, end of November against the Commanders, where the Commanders are 2.5 point favorites. So, I mean, that's their
yeah.
second closest line there. They play the Giants in there too. They
There you go.
might
That
beat the
was the other one.
Giants.
That's what I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking of. You can maybe toss one of those Jags games as a win, and then probably that Giants game as a win. But otherwise, I gave them 2. Made nothing really else than that. I'm gonna hammer under 4.5. Like I said, my only prop on them was for them to have the worst regular season record. They're favorited on points bet at plus 325. I think I said plus 600 earlier, and it's plus 325. To make or miss the playoffs, it's pretty easy, pretty obvious. Yes is plus 1100 and no is minus 2000. So you kind of see where Vegas has everyone at. I don't think I couldn't find anybody on the MVP list and that was a Texan. So probably 100
No.
plus 100,000 for anybody to do anything at all. That's it for me on the Texans. I got nothing. If you got anything on their team total else, or if you got a prop on them at all, let me know. Anything?
No, that's it. No, I'm not. No bets on the fucking Texans this year. I will
Yeah,
ride with the under four and a
under
half
four and a
wins.
half. Yeah,
I'll take that, and for them to be the worst team in the league, I'll take that as well.
yeah, I like that. Want to just stay in the basement and go with the Jags, or you want to get a high
Yeah,
spot?
let's stick
Okay.
with the Jags.
All right. Yeah. Cool. 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 Pretty simple. Quick question I had for them was just, will Trevor Lawrence make the next step? And then obviously you got Christian Kirk coming in. Is he going to be worth all this money? You got some people coming in. All right, Evan Ingram as well. But adding Kirk on this huge deal that may or may not have just fucked up the entire wide receiver market to begin with, should be the number one target, clear cut number one, probably with Evan Ingram lurking in the background. But I don't know. It's also going to be a question of James Robinson and Travis Etienne kind of looking like you heard different things, looking like they might split. A lot of people are just leaning towards Travis Etienne taking. Hopefully I'm saying the Etienne. Hopefully that's correct.
Etienne. I've heard a bunch
ETN
of
at yeah,
different things.
exactly. So
Yeah.
they're saying he's the clear cut number one with maybe James Robinson trying to sniff in, get a couple snaps here and there. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't really know, but with Urban Meyer gone, there's potential, but I don't really see anything too crazy happening. I see the Jags wins at 6.5. Uh, I don't know. What are you thinking on this team?
I don't know. Call me crazy, but I've never really been a believer in Trevor Lawrence. I get he was one of
Mm-hmm.
the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Um, but I don't know. He's in a bad situation right now,
Yeah,
and it doesn't
still.
really feel like, you look at all these other young quarterbacks that have come out, the successful ones, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, these high draft picks. Their organizations have gone leaps and bounds to build around these guys and give them weapons, to give them offensive line, to have a good team around them to succeed. And I don't feel like they're doing that with Jacksonville. I mean, they go out and they over fucking pay Christian Kirk. 3 years, $76 million. He's a good receiver, but he's not worth that type of money. It's sort of like giving Pat Beverly fucking $400 million or whatever the fuck he got. And I know it wasn't 400 million, but you see all these NBA players getting over fucking paid.
Yeah.
That's what it sort of reminded me of. And now, you just set the market for wide receivers so fucking high. That's why you're gonna see Allen Robinson get a big paycheck. Debo and Metcalf got big fucking paydays. That's just going to be the trend now in the NFL years to come. All thanks to Christian Kirk and the fucking con men, the
Mm,
fucking con family, the
yeah.
con men, and the biggest con man of them all, Christian Kirk. Don't get me wrong. I like the weapons. I like Travis Etienne. I like James Robinson. He had a great story coming out of his rookie year, being one of the top running backs in the league. I'm not too worried either way. If you got one of those guys in fantasy, I think James Robinson's going to be that first, second down guy, that goal line guy to punch it into the end zone. I think Etienne's going to be a great receiving back. So I'm not too worried with either of them come fantasy. But Christian Kirk. Uh, they don't got a really. They got Evan Ingram. Wow, he's a fucking bum. They don't got any other really
They
big
don't have
fucking
DJ
weapons on the
Chark
off.
anymore. They just
Yeah, they
traded
got
away Laviscus Chenault Jr. I
yeah, they
can't
got
I can't
Zay
think of a notable
Jones,
yeah, can't think of a notable
Marvin
name.
Marvin Jones Jr. He was reliable with the Lions for a couple of years there, but he's nothing to oh, look at him. So I don't have a lot of faith in this team. They got rid of um who was the name of the fucking Miles Jack? They send him to fucking Pittsburgh. So they lose their top, defensive player. Still got Josh Allen over there, not the quarterback for the Bills, but the defensive end, linebacker, whatever you want to call him. So I guess they still got him, but yeah, this team's looking bad. They don't got weapons anywhere. Offense, defense. I think this is just a meh fucking team, and I just don't like that. I don't like what they're putting around Trevor Lawrence. They're not giving him the weapons and the shit that he needs to succeed.
Oh yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Like you just said, like they Burrow on the Bengals, they see that he's the guy. Obviously, he's gonna be possibly their quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. Let's invest and get him some linemen. And that's sure enough what they did. What did while they tried to give Trevor Lawrence a couple weapons, they gave him the wrong weapons with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. While I like Christian Kirk kind of like in the same sense as you, but he was maybe what the third or fourth option on the Cardinals at one point, and now
Yeah,
you're paying him wide receiver number one money when he's, comparable to, I guess, like a Rondale Moore guy who's already on the Cardinals,
exactly.
Darnell Mooney or something like that. Uh, it's a tough look. And yeah, if Trevor Lawrence was on a competitive team, I would probably say that he's going to do very well and argue that he could maybe even have a better chance at the MVP. But until the Jags fully commit and actually do something like that, until they get some notable names, big names, someone that's actually going to help them, there's no help for the Jags. They're sitting at 6.5 wins. I'm going to hammer the under at minus 115. I see five, maybe six if they steal one. But even those 5 games, I'm not entirely confident in. Like I
Yeah,
can't
I
think of off the
agree.
top of my head, but I gave them the 2 wins against the Texans, maybe a sneaky steal one against the Colts or the Tennessee Titans like they always like to do. So that's 3 right there. but still not gonna come close to 7. No, I don't. There's no realistic way that talent and what all these names that we just named right now. There's no way that stays competitive enough to be playoff material. There's no way
Yeah, I
that
agree.
that team's not beating. I mean, like I said, just name anyone in the AFC. You know that team's not beating the Chargers. Team's not beating the Chiefs. It's not going to come close near the Broncos. It's not happening. It's just
No.
simply not going to happen.
It's
So
like when your biggest offseason move is Christian Kirk, and then your second biggest offseason move is getting right guard Brandon Scherf from the Giants. Who Brandon Scherf, he's a great guard, one of
yes,
the
he
best,
is.
all around guards in football. But like when that's your second biggest move, that's not
Tough luck.
really exactly. It's not really a good sign.
Yeah,
So
tough luck indeed. So yeah, I'm not looking for any wins right there. I'll look for progression in terms of his numbers and whatnot, but they're third to win the division in terms of their odds, plus 650. And I'm not gonna even not it's not worth it right there. I feel like it should be probably more. It should probably be like plus 800, plus 900, considering the Titans and the Colts are gonna be it's gonna be their division right there. Without a doubt. They're just head and shoulders above everybody in this division in terms of talent and head coaching and being there, having all this past winning seasons and whatnot. Uh, the only prop I have on the Jags might be two. Oh no, it's just a ton of notes that I had written down on it. Just my reasoning for it. This you have to switch over, unfortunately, and go over to DraftKings. Over the prop is over 849 and a half receiving yards and over 5.5 receiving touchdowns for Christian Kirk, plus 275. I know we kind of just shat on him the entire time, but like I said, being essentially the third or fourth option in Arizona behind Hopkins, Ertz, and I guess maybe AJ Green at a certain point. But either way, he was able to haul in 982 yards and 5 touchdowns on 77 receptions. Now he's practically going to be the number one target. Like I said, Evan Ingram probably going to be sniffing behind him, getting a couple more receptions than last year. But with that big paycheck, my assumption is that they're just going to keep throwing to him as much as possible. So plus 275 for something that he's essentially already achieved. Why not give it
what
right?
was the
Why
line
is
on the touchdowns again?
it was 5.5, so he would just
Five
need
and a
to
half.
get
Okay.
one more touchdown than last season. So he just
Okay,
needs
yeah, I love the yardage one. I'm iffy on the touchdowns
it
just because
is. I know it's
touchdowns are so limited in that offense. It's like,
absolutely.
you
And for
know.
the most
But
part,
yeah, I
yeah,
do for
I
for
would feel like yeah.
275. I like that bet
Yeah.
though.
My like I said, my assumption he's going to be the number one target in terms of receiving, but the touchdowns are going to be far and few in between. That's gonna the six is that might be his entire season. I don't know
Yeah,
his line on touchdowns in front of my face,
yeah.
but
Just the
that might make sense right there.
I got no props. I'm not gonna waste any of my money on this team.
Yeah, no, it
The
makes
only
sense.
the last interesting stat for the Jacksonville Jaguars to sort of sum up how we think their season's gonna go. They were the only team this preseason to lose 4 games. And there's only 3 weeks in the preseason. You Bill, how the fuck they do that? They lost the fucking John Madden Vegas Hall of Fame game or whatever.
Hall of Fame game.
So yeah, they're the only team to go 0-4 this preseason.
Well, again, another tough look that the Khan family has to wear.
I
Again, we'll get
guarantee you, fucking the what's his name, Colin Cowherd or someone is gonna be like, "Oh, they were only 0-4." Fucking steal our shit again.
absolutely. Alrighty. We got two more left. We got the Colts and the Titans. Which one are we feeling? Who we want to dive into?
We can go either way. I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick here.
Um, yeah, you know what? We'll just go with the Titans. I'm kind of feeling confident in them. I like them. But I don't even know. I don't even remember if I picked a division winner just yet. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll talk myself into one right now. Simply just how will they follow up being the number one seed last year? I feel like you're probably like, oh, what? That's a lie. That no, that actually happened. They were the number one seed last year, if you actually remember. Can Derrick Henry stay healthy? And if so, how many leagues will he win people? He's gonna put up fucking retarded numbers this year, and I'm saying that in a positive way. Uh, gonna run over everybody, but there was that little tidbit, like a key poking at. Or is he gonna change it up? Is he not gonna get as many touches? Probably just be just as efficient with what he gets. Their biggest ad drops, adding Robert Woods, trading AJ Brown away, but essentially it was 1 for 1 when they drafted and got Traylon Burks. So Robert Woods and Traylon Burks are going to be your wide receiver 1 and 2. I honestly can't think of anyone. I feel like they added a tight end. Can't think of them off the top of my head. We'll have to maybe I'll look back into that. But how you feeling on the Titans? I'm seeing them and the Colts have the same over under at 9.5. What are you feeling on them?
Ooh, I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding this team. Obviously the big one's going to be the health of Derrick Henry. If he's healthy, he's going to be the number one fucking rusher in football. He's going to pound in fucking 15 plus touchdowns. Um, there's no denying that they got a great offensive line. Ben Jones, Taylor Lewan,
Austin Hooper
Nate
is their tight
Davis,
end. Austin
Austin
Hooper.
Hooper. Okay.
Yeah.
So they got Ben Jones, Taylor Lewan. Everybody loves him. Nate Davis, I think Nate Davis, one of the sneaky underrated guards in football. Definitely, you need good guards when you're gonna run the ball with like fucking Derrick Henry does. In between the tackles, your guards are probably your most important position. So. Love that offensive line there. You lose AJ Brown, that's gonna suck. You're replacing with Robert Woods, who again, another guy coming off a fucking injury, and you just got your two. I feel like your two biggest weapons on offense are, questionable now with fucking injuries. So, I love the defense. It really sucks that they lost Harold Landry, who I think he's their best player. He's going to be out for the season with a fucking torn ACL. He's there. They run a 3-4. They call it a linebacker, but he's their edge rusher, defensive end, gets after the quarterback. I think he had 12 sacks last season, a forced fumble. So, yeah, he was their go-to guy when it comes to getting after the quarterback. I like this team. I think they have the potential to make the fucking playoffs. Like you said, there's been nothing but good news surrounding Traylon Burks, the rookie wide receiver out of Arkansas, I believe. Yeah, shout out Tim Hester in Arkansas. A lot of people loved him during spring training camp, preseason. He's made some great plays, so I think he'll fill into that number 2 role behind Robert Woods, no problem. 9.5 on the wins. Ooh, that's tough. I'll give them 9 or 10 wins, but I don't think they're going to win the division. I still think it's going to be the Colts division. But I do think this team can still win some games, make some playoffs. I mean, Derrick Henry, year in and year out, he puts his team on his back. He rushes for 2,000 yards, and he's the king for a reason. So as long as he can stay healthy, this team I think will make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm sitting at the 9.5. I did my little looking at all the games. For the sake of it, no, I'm gonna take the over at plus 125 on 9.5. It's gonna be the sweatiest plus 125 though, because I feel like every game for the Titans is gonna be close. They're gonna be running the ball, so there's gonna be taking care of the clock. Derrick Henry's gonna be running it a lot. I mean, and even when they don't run it, they dink and dunk. They're gonna get like 10 yards, 15 yards. They're not very explosive on their offense, except for when Derrick Henry brushes off 40 to 80 yard rushes. So besides that, there is that. I like I said, going through all their matchups, I like them to get 10 wins. That's not enough in my mind for the division. I think, yeah, I'm looking at my notes from yesterday. I got the Colts taking the division. Only a couple more games. I have them splitting, I believe, again, splitting between the two. I think I gave them 1-1, one at home for both. But I like the Titans to potentially, like you said, you could sneak in, get in that wild card spot. Don't have as much talent on paper for that number 1 seed, but the coach Vogel, is that correct? Is it Vogel?
Vrabel.
Vrabel. Okay, so
Vrabel.
Vrabel. I mean, I like
Vogel,
him.
you're thinking of the NBA coach.
Oh yeah, I am.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Yeah, some
Greg
dad,
Vogel or something like that.
Frank
Yeah,
Vogel.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So Vrabel, excuse me. Uh, I like him. I think he's probably gonna out coach a lot of coaches on the sideline. So when it does come down to the nitty gritty, he's gonna make those moves. He always seems to do that, like doing the 2 point conversions and shit like that. to just mathematically knock out opponents at the end. He's done that before, doing shit like that. So there's a good potential, and obviously there's a ton of potential when you got Derrick Henry on your team just to run the ball down everyone's fucking throat.
Yeah.
The 2,000 yard season is there. It could be. I'm not taking that right away, but I like the Titans to sneak into a wild card spot right there.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. I feel like Austin Hooper has the potential to be a top five tight end in fantasy this year. He really
yeah,
does. If
he
you go
does.
back and you look at his last 2 years, splitting time with David Njoku, splitting time with Harrison Bryant, they sort of had like three-headed. I wouldn't even say three-headed monster. They just had the three different tight ends that he had to compete with in Cleveland. You go all the way back to 2019 with Atlanta when he was the go-to number one clear cut tight end before Kyle Pitts. In 13 games, he had 75 receptions on 97 targets, 787 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Damn.
Again, in 13 games when he was the clear cut number one tight end. So he's got the potential. I think he was like tight end 2 or 3 in fantasy that season.
Yeah.
Again, missed 3 games. So he's got the potential to be that tight end again. So,
Yeah.
if
He was
you
he was the
if
sought after free agent in that year for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
exactly. And tight end, it's always tough in fantasy unless you don't get Kittle, Waller, Kelsey, Pitts, Andrews. You don't get one of those five. It's sort of like a shot in the dark on drafting fucking tight ends in fantasy. And if you want some guy late who has great value, and I don't know why I'm saying this because I still haven't done my fucking fantasy draft. It's tomorrow, but hopefully none of my buddies are listening to this. I'm gonna be targeting Austin Hooper in deeper leagues as like a number two tight end because I look at that 2019 season and I just think if he gets the opportunity to be that number one tight end, which he has now, we've seen it. Ryan Tannehill loves throwing to his tight ends with Jonnu Smith a couple years ago, Anthony Ferkser. Neither of those guys are on the level, athletically that Austin Hooper is. So I love Austin Hooper late in drafts. I think he has all the potential in the world to be a fucking top five tight end this
Yeah.
season at the end of the year.
I like that. I have no props on
So yeah,
him.
if
I wish I
anyone's
knew
listening to
that.
this from the Grease League, I'm joking. That was all a joke.
I'm just kidding. I wish I knew all those stats beforehand. But yeah, my only
Yeah.
prop on the Titans, I see Woods and Burks to combine for over 1,600 and a half receiving yards
Oh,
at,
I love that.
at plus 105.
I
So
love that
oh
one.
yeah. So yeah, I mean both of them have potential to either one of them interchangeable to get 1,000 yards, and then if you can get the other 600 from either one of them, perfect. Right there, right exactly where you want to be. Uh, let's see. Like I said, I kind of in the same boat. So we're kind of in the same wavelength. I think we like the Colts to win the division at minus 140. We'll get to them in just a second. We see I'd like you can even make an argue plus 200 for the Titans. You can roll the dice on that. But essentially that's basically it. It's going to be the Titans and Colts division right there, and then I'm going to lean towards the Colts. Are you leaning to the Colts as well?
I am leaning towards the Colts.
Okie
Yes.
dokie. Yeah, you can probably can't, like you said, the minus 140, not looking good money. It's a little bit of a juice bag. Throw it into a division winner parlay. But I mean, it's up to those two teams. So just getting into the last team right here and now, the Colts. Adding another new quarterback. I don't know how many it has been in the last 5, 6, 7 seasons. But how will Matt Ryan adjust? It's all the potential. He's not great, like Alan says every fucking day, but he has the potential to just adjust and be the guy that can simply hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor every single day and make sure it just doesn't get intercepted when you give it to Michael Pittman Jr. Uh, again, how will Jonathan Taylor do this year? Will he live up to that number one fantasy guy that everyone's supposed to be? Obviously, it's the potential for them to easily just run away with this division. It's right there. Same thing. I mean, the only big ad drop off the top of my head was Matt Ryan. I'm sure there was probably some sort of movement on the defense. I guess if you want to say Darius Leonard changing his name to whatever it is now. It could be,
Shaquille
yeah, it can technically be an ad to big
still
ad
has
drop.
Darius as his middle name though. It's
Yeah,
Shaquille Darius Leonard.
there you go. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is. I have the, yeah, same team total as the Titans, 9.5. I'm going to go with the over. Nothing too special. -170. You're not getting a good value right there. But I mean, I can see them easily winning 11 games. You can add another one or two more if it just falls their way. They can be a 13 win game, 13 win season possibly for the Colts, as long as Matt Ryan just keeps the ship right, as long as everyone stays healthy. This defense is top notch. They are playing, I believe, the sixth easiest season or schedule wise. So I mean, it's just poised for them to just take this division and run away with it. I don't know if you have any more on them. What are your thoughts on the Colts?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is going to be the team to beat in the AFC South. Just for I think the same reasoning you said. Matt Ryan, I definitely an upgrade from what they had. I mean, we all know Carson Wentz is dog shit. Jacoby Brissett, and I don't think he's there anymore. But I mean, over the
Starting for
years,
Cleveland.
been starting games. Yeah, he's been starting games for the Colts over the years. To get a solid, veteran quarterback like Matt Ryan, even though 37 years old, I'll take that over Jacoby Brissett and Carson Wentz. Not to mention they got Mr. 9 Inch himself, Big Dick Nick, as their backup.
Oh, that's
So
right.
Matt Ryan goes down. He's going to be slinging that thing all over the field. Um, yeah, I just think this is going to be a breakout season for Michael Pittman. He's 24 years old, had an amazing year last year. And I think Matt Ryan is just going to elevate his game as that big, deep threat wide receiver. We saw glimpses of last year. Jonathan Taylor, yeah, clear cut 1-1 in most fantasy football leagues. I know a lot of people, including myself, wanted to risk it and take Christian McCaffrey. I understand that, but I think Jonathan Taylor, he's got the volume. He's got, I think one of the best offensive lines in football. Leading the way for him. So he's going to be clear cut number one in fantasy leagues. I do think he's going to live up to, I think it was 370 fantasy points scored last year in a PPR format. I think he can be right up there again. Um, and then that offensive line that I just mentioned, I mean, you see what Matt Ryan can do over the years with no offensive line in Atlanta. I think it's just, he's not a mobile quarterback. He never has been. They're going to give him time to find guys like Parrish Campbell, Kiki Cutie, Mo Alley Cox, Michael Pittman. So I like that. I've always loved the offensive line. Just Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, Arlington Hambright, Braden Smith. They got some dogs on that offensive line, and I think that's going to be the difference between the Titans and the Colts this year is just being able to protect their quarterback, open some holes for their fucking run game, and then the defensive side of the ball. They got fucking like you said. Shaquille Leonard, Shaquille, fuck whatever his stupid name is. They do go out and get Stephon Gilmore, former MVP of the league, fucking
Wow.
last defensive player to ever do that. Little up there in age, but he's going to be a decent second, third cornerback for them. Yeah, I like the Colts this year. I'm sort of forced to ride with them now because I'm going to be picking Taylor first overall tomorrow. So I'm all on the fucking Taylor train. I'm gonna take the Colts. I think 9.5. You said is their line as well. I'll
Correct.
take the over on that. I
Hmm.
see that. I can see them 10, 11 wins, and it'll come down to the wire for that division. So I think
Yeah.
they can squeak it out with 10 or 11 wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then for obviously, fantasy wise, Jonathan Taylor, the clear cut 1-1, that's going to be your guy every single week. For anyone that's like maybe not buying the hype, or if you're just not believing everyone that you hear about Michael Pittman Jr., about him being the clear cut number one guy, there's just reports that Matt Ryan and him are work. They're creating a relationship. They're not, maybe they're not going out and doing whatever together, but there there was like spots of him, like Matt Ryan teaching Pittman how to get in position to catch the ball, and like just the way he's gonna throw. And I mean, the past relationships he just had Kyle Pitts, and before that he had Julio. So guys like that, Matt Ryan just gets the ball to the most talented guy. Maybe he forces it maybe one or two more times than he should. But he's going to get the ball to Michael Pittman Jr. He's going to be the guy to throw to. And like you said, maybe Mo Alley Cox going to sneak some red zone targets away
Mo
from him.
Alekax. I
Oh
just like
yeah. I
say
mean,
that
because
name.
he's humongous. He's a humongous target to throw to. It would just be stupid to not throw to your 6'7", 6'8" tight end who's gonna obviously jump up higher than these 5'9", 5'10" cornerbacks. It just makes just science and math and whatever height that equals touchdowns. So yeah, that would just be my takeaway. Final thought going into that. Uh Jonathan Taylor is the high of all these guys. I see Jonathan Taylor plus 6,000, matching Trevor Lawrence for MVP. But I mean, I wouldn't even take anything like that. The only prop I have on the Colts is Jonathan Taylor to record over 149 and a half rushing yards in 3 regular season games. It's plus 225. But
Ooh.
if you look back at it, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I think he had well over 10 games with over 100 yards rushing. Maybe not 149 in every single one of those games, but if you give me that, you give me a chance to do that right there. And plus 225, that's pretty good for me. I like that. I like that number right
Yeah,
there.
I do too.
Yeah. So that I believe that's my only prop. And then again, if we're just banking on the idea that Jonathan Taylor is going to be the guy, might as well go with that. I mean, to get 150 yards in 3 games, that should be that should be no problem. It should be just a brush of the shoulder. So yeah, I think we're in the same boat. Going to take the Colts to win the division at minus 140. It's going to
Yeah,
be.
it'll be a close one though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to come down. Obviously, going to come down to those 2 games and maybe a couple more. It's tough when both of those teams are probably going to have the same division record. Probably going to split. In my mind, they're probably going to split. I'm giving the Titans their home game and the Colts their home game against each other. But they're both probably going to beat the Texans twice, and they're both probably going to beat the Jags twice. So, like I said, they're going to have the same division record. It's what they're going to do outside the division this year is going to determine their division, which is going to be crazy. So I mean, like I said, any final thoughts wrapping up on any one of these teams, the Colts, anything else?
No, I think that about wraps it up for the AFC South, man. It's gonna
Yeah,
be it's always a treat when no matter what division, no matter what team, no matter what sport really, when you got the top two guys going at it, like you got, King Henry and fucking Jonathan Taylor going to be going at it twice a year. You look at it in baseball when you get two aces going at it, or two MVP candidates, or you get LeBron and KD, whatever team that snake is on. It's always fun to see like the top guys in the sport, the top guys at their position going at it head to head. It makes those games even more special and even more entertaining to watch.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that was it. Yeah, that was the AFC South breakdown brought to you by PointsBet, code SYS9. Before we wrap all that up, did you want to, if you maybe just remember off the top of your head, if you can, if not, it's fine. We'll just recap it in other episodes. Just quickly go through all our division winners that we had together. So I think starting with the AFC East, I think we both had the Bills. If I'm not correct,
Correct.
just the
Yeah, I think if you're not taking the Bills, you're either a psychopath or just a dumb Patriots
or
fan.
you've seen something in the future and you're like, oh my god, there's going to be some sort of catastrophe with them. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think we both had in the AFC North. I think we both had the Ravens. Is that correct?
Yep, took the Ravens,
Okay, and it looks like again in the AFC South, chalk. We're taking the Colts.
taking the Colts.
I believe in the AFC West, that was the only division winner we had separate. I had the Broncos, and I believe you had the Chargers. Is that
I did
correct?
had the
Okay,
Chargers.
so I have the Broncos, he has the Chargers, maybe a little head-to-head collision right there. Looking at the NFC East, I believe we both landed on the Eagles. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. NFC North, I gave it to the Vikings. Did you give it to the Vikings as well? Just for the sake of it, just because you can't give it to the Packers,
Yeah.
or did you
Yeah.
say Packers?
No, man. I think I gave it to the Vikings, but I think that's just me being a Bears fan and hating the
I
Packers.
think so too, but I was
Uh,
also in the mindset that like I said, just banking
yeah.
like I
I'll give it
said,
to the Lions.
there you go. You're going with the Lions. I'll go with the
I went
Vikings.
all
That's
three
fine.
teams before the Bears. How fucking sad is that?
Hell yeah.
No, yeah, give it to the Vikings this year.
Okay. All right. And again, NFC South looks like I think we both took the Buccaneers, even with
Yep.
this lingering offensive line. NFC West, I don't remember who I gave it to. I think I said the Rams, but I could definitely convince myself and say the 49ers if I
Yeah, I
didn't
think I took
already.
49ers there.
Okay. I think for the sake of it, I think I did take the Rams. So I'll just stick with it just because that's what I said in that episode. But sure enough, I'm not going to be upset if the 49ers take the division at all. So that about wraps up all our preview. That is the preview for week one and everything that there is. Again, sign up with PointsBet, SYS9, said it a million times. Go figure it the fuck out. Uh, didn't have it any more NFL. Did we want to dive into, let me see here. I have a little bit of MLB. I know you have nothing on the Cubs, but I got a little teensy tiny
Yeah,
little
no.
bit on the White Sox that kind of interludes into MLB news in general and stuff like that. So MLB next.
Yeah, let's talk some MLB basketball and then wrap it up with some wrestling.
All right, yes, that sounds perfect to me. So let's see. Like I said, not going to be diving in with these full-on check-ins on the White Sox anymore. It's not worth my time until they prove to me that they're for real and they want to take this division. I know as a recording right now, we're 2 games out. The I almost said the Chiefs. The Guardians had some rough games. We're playing the Mariners. We're playing the Mariners right now after they almost essentially swept the Guardians. The Mariners did. Uh, we were able to take two out of 3 games against the Twins. Twins won the other or lost the other night, whatever it is. Whatever. So I'm just like I said, just want to slightly go over some stuff because you can't just not overlook some of this stuff. Cease threw a no hitter through 8 2/3. I'm gonna go with it. What AJ Przinsky literally said: should have pitched around him, should have threw 4 sliders. Whatever he swings, he swings. That would have been it. I would have just walked him and get to whatever the fuck Garlic was next.
Yeah, Walker Reyes. I mean, he's got the best
He's
batting
yeah,
average in the AL right
yeah.
now. Walk him and go after fucking Mr. Garlic.
Yeah, exactly. So it just doesn't make any sense. But whatever. He gets the complete game shutout, 9 innings pitched. That was fun. I mean, it is what it is with the Twins game. I obviously I love a no hitter. You get it would be a nicer guy for Dylan Cease to get it, but I also I don't know if them icing Dylan Cease was necessarily the thing. I don't know if you saw that they threw Eric Gordon in the ninth or whatever in the bottom of the eighth position player for the Twins. And then after he gave up 6 or 7 runs for them, they threw in another position player who was able to finally get the last couple outs. So I don't necessarily think it would have been a nice either way if they had an actual pitcher going for that long or if it was just a position player. Either way, I just wanted the win again. Cease may be getting the like not getting all the shine. He didn't get he didn't get the All Star nod, but he got that important win right before the All Star break. And just like this now, he's not getting the no hitter, but he's getting a very very important division win right now, and that's all you can ever need. Let's see. Just like I said, hopefully with us, we got the Mariners, you got the A's and the Rockies coming up. Hopefully the Twins getting the Angels, the Guardians, and the Yankees. Hopefully they start fucking up. The Guardians are getting the Royals, the Twins themselves again, and then they're getting I don't know, some other team. So hopefully they start fucking off. Other than that, Tony La Russa, that was basically my big White Sox news interluding into MLB. Tony La Russa out indefinitely with this health issue, undisclosed. Don't really look into it. I'm not going to look into it. He's just an old man. I'm not, that's his personal business. Is as painful and as ugly as it is to say, will this old man going down finally be the breath of fresh air for this White Sox team? I have no. That'll be my
Yeah, I
question.
think this might have been like an inside job.
Oh, okay.
Like they're like, hey, listen, we're not gonna fire you, but we're gonna make up this story and say that you're not, you're a undisclosed health injury just to get him out for the last month of the year, and maybe that'll like kick the White Sox in the ass and get them to win some games. Which I mean, they had 2 back-to-back great games against the Twins. One almost being a fucking was it a no hitter or a perfect game? It was
It
a
was
no
a no
hitter,
hitter.
right?
I
Okay,
think he had 2 walks early in the
okay.
game for
So
Cease.
yeah, I mean it definitely, they played good baseball over the fucking weekend against the Twins, so maybe it is working. But if it is something serious with his health, obviously we wish him nothing but the best. But I just got a weird feeling this is an inside job that they don't want to fire him. They don't want to fire him.
Yeah,
That
no,
might
that's
kill the
Jerry's
old
smoking
man.
buddy. That's
Yeah,
his cigar buddy.
exactly.
He's not gonna
That
do
might
that.
kill the old dude. So like, oh, Tony, he's probably sitting in his office before the game, just like doing that old thing, the thing that people do with their mouths, where they just chew on nothing, And they're
Yeah, they
like,
just got
Tony, we
crap
got
in
your
the fucking
tests
corner
back,
of their
and they
mouth.
came back negative. He's like, the tests came back what? And they were like, yeah, you can't coach anymore, buddy. We're gonna go get you some pudding. He's like, I like pudding, and they got him out of there. So, uh, yeah, hey, we've been saying this all year. Even me as a Cubs fan saying that dude needs to get fired. And like you said, he's buddy with the fucking owners
Yeah.
and the higher up. So they don't want to fire him. They don't want to hurt his feelings. They don't want to, you fire him the next day, he's gonna be on Lakeshore Drive wrapped around a fucking pole with a fifth of vodka.
Oh my
So
god.
you don't want that to happen to fucking Tony La Russa.
Yeah,
It's better to
absolutely
just
not.
say, undisclosed, fucking lower body, bing bong, out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a ton of sense. And like I said, I won't do a full check-in like I've been, like cut a promo like I have been these past couple weeks until the Sox completely prove to me that they're going to be the front runners and win this division. My only thing is lingering is Liam Hendricks. Figure it the fuck out. Stop giving up late runs and getting people on base. He's got the yips right now. I'm not feeling it. That's going to be, like I said, not feeling very confident on Hendricks right now. So that's White Sox, if anything at all. I know you got nothing on the Cubs. We can just get into these last two that I
I
have.
did
Oh,
have
good,
one
good.
quick little thing on the
Oh,
Cubs.
sure.
Again, season's in the shitter. Better luck next year. But just looking at one of our top prospects, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, one of the best Diamond Dynasty cards in the game. Uh, Playing down at High A this year. The last 25 games, month of August, batting 356 with a 417 on base percentage, 36 hits, 18 extra base hits, 18 runs scored in that 25 game span. 3 home runs, 17 RBIs, and 12 stolen bases. So it's always good to see. Every week I've been talking about one of the younger prospects doing good down in the minors, and got him in the Javi Baez deal last year with the Mets. He was one of the Mets' top prospects, so good to see him doing good over the last month of uh, the minors. The minor league season always ends a couple weeks early before the majors, so maybe a couple of these big names for the Cubs get called up, get a week or two playing up in the majors. That'd be fun. See some of
Oh,
these
he
guys
he
get their
should
first little look.
potentially, yeah, without a doubt, he
Yeah,
should
I mean you're
definitely
batting
get the at bats. There's
356.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
356 in your last 25 games. He's on fire right now.
You got
So
nothing to lose. Obviously, completely out
exactly,
of
nothing to
contention with
lose.
the Cardinals now just running away with this division. The Brewers had a chance, and I think they're like 5.5, almost 6.5 games out, if not more. Yeah, I don't know. You got nothing to lose. Might as well give the young guys a couple at bats. Let them into
Exactly.
the
Brennan
show.
Davis is back. He's healthy. PCA, he's fucking playing great. So I wouldn't mind seeing one or two of these guys called up for the remainder of a pointless season, like Nick
Yeah,
said. So other than
yeah.
that, nothing else. Cubs are done. Well, better luck next year.
Yeah. The only thing, like I said, wrapping up on any White Sox is just, yeah, just hopefully the Twins lose, Guardians lose, White Sox win. That's the only thing you can hope for. I got nothing really much else on that. Just around the league, around the diamond, quick little things to make note of. I didn't have a ton of small things other than basically it kind of fell into our lap as of last night. Cody Clemens, position player for the Tigers, and son of maybe is he a Hall of Famer? Roger Clemens? Am I?
Yeah, he's not in yet because of the
Okay.
steroid bullshit.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So, well, like I said, son of Roger Clemens recorded his first strikeout last night in a 10
And
to
you'll
10 to
never
nothing
guess
blowout.
who it was against,
Yes.
people.
Against the Angels. So you can only assume he struck out Otani on a 66-mile-per-hour heater right down the middle. And
Yeah.
of course, he kept that ball. I wouldn't fucking sell that.
Immediately had the
Yeah.
biggest shit eating grin on his face, called time. He's like, hey, can we get that ball, please? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an
Without a
awesome
doubt.
moment. Yeah, I'm keeping that ball 100%.
Yeah, well, if it's your first, it maybe your last. Like I said, it's he's a position player. He's pitched earlier this year before because obviously the Tigers have. I think they've thrown the most position players at pitcher this year. They're so bad. They're very 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 stinky.
Yeah, the
Uh,
fucking White Sox won me a live bet earlier in the year
oh, that's
against the
right.
Tigers when Tucker Barnhart I had a minus 12.5, and it was 12-0 going to the bottom of the eighth or the top of the ninth because they were on the road. And
Yeah.
yeah, and someone got a double, and Abreu got a double, and bang bong, minus
Bing
12 and a
bong.
half. Tucker
Fucking
Barnhart, baby.
cashes. Unreal. Unreal. So yeah, that's a big one. Hopefully, yeah, that'll be a forever ball in the mantelpiece.
Oh,
That's
it has to
hilarious.
be. Has to
Yeah,
be.
Otani has to be kicking himself a little bit. That's
I don't think.
embarrassing.
Yeah, he's embarrassed. He might be a little embarrassed, but that's also like one of those fun moments, like when Rizzo struck out Freeman. Like
Yeah.
that's just. I don't even think Freeman was upset. He's like, okay, this is
Oh
awesome.
no,
This is
according to you, that was an
hilarious. Yeah,
inside job as well. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah. I think it might have
baseball's
been.
as fake
Anthony
as
Rizzo
wrestling.
is he is the greatest numbers wise pitcher of all time. 0 ERA.
Oh,
Better
there
than
you
that
go.
one dude who fucking who'd you say got shipped off in World War I, got his head blown off. He's got the infinite ERA. That's
It's something
terrible.
like that. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah, you're like,
Giants pitcher in the 1900s has like an infinite ERA because he couldn't get out of an inning.
he got drafted
And
mid at bat, and the pitcher was
yeah,
like, "We're sending you to Germany,
signed
kid."
up for the Navy
He's
the
like,
next
okay,
day and got shipped off and will forever have an infinite ERA. That's
yeah.
hilarious. Last little thing on baseball, if you had nothing else on Cody Clemens. I just had just me being me. I cashed out too early on a Braves future, and now they are right. They are not on the Mets ass. They are in the Mets ass. They are a game
Ooh,
out.
in their
Oh
ass,
yeah, they're very close. I know you sent me that Frank from Barstool freaking the fuck out to the point where
dude.
it was completely incoherent. I couldn't understand him. He
Exactly. He
broke
was,
his glass.
like, I don't even know he's chewing on his shirt. He's got like that Lego in his mouth.
Yeah,
What are you
it's
chewing
like a
on a Lego
sponge.
for?
It's a
Oh, is it a
sponge.
sponge?
I
Oh, it
don't
looked
know. I
like a
think he just
Lego.
yeah, I don't know. It's some
Okay,
sort of
okay,
mouth guard so he doesn't
sponge.
chew on his own mouth or teeth or something like that. I don't know. That's an insane concept, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just mad that I cashed out a little too early than I did. I didn't put the house on this future, but I did lose a little money on it cashing out early. But nevertheless, I mean, it's been fun to watch. The Braves are they're right there. It's coming down to last couple of games. I think they play each other at least but one more time before the season ends. That can definitely determine it right then and there if it stays right here as it is. But I don't know if it's you. It could be another curse of the Mets trying to do something outlandish and maybe put more eyes on them than they should. They had Timmy Trumpet come out and do that little trumpet intro for Edwin Diaz, who is
Uh,
obviously
is
their
as
closer.
cool as that was, I think you gotta like save that for a playoff game.
I
Like you
mean,
don't want to do that in
yeah,
the middle of the regular season. Like no, you
yeah,
got to do that like hey Timmy, listen, we're going to get you a box. We're going to have you sit up here until game 7 of the NLDS against the Mets at home, and we're up a run in the ninth, and that's when you do it, you know?
yeah,
Not just a regular season game against whoever the fuck, you know. It was a sick moment, and it was a crazy like we've seen some of the closer entrances in the history of the MLB. Obviously, Mariano Rivera with Enter Sandman, Trevor Hoffman with Hell's Bells, the one meth head with the fucking Giants with the faux hawk. Brian Wilson, not the Beach Boy Brian Wilson, the
yeah.
fucking crackhead Brian Wilson. He had a crazy entrance, and yeah,
He had
this is another one of them.
jump around was his. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saw
yeah.
someone just ranked the top 10 best closers entrances. Edwin Diaz was in that list. Obviously, the top two that you just named was the Hell's Bells and Enter Sandman with Mariano Rivera, and they even included Vaughn
Oh,
from
the
Major
wild
League Wild
thing.
Thing. They put a fictional character in the fucking top 10 list.
You
So
have to. You
yeah,
fucking
that's
have to.
hilarious.
That's such an iconic entrance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Braves are right on their ass, and it's no surprise. I mean, Austin Riley is honestly having an MVP caliber season for the Braves right now. I don't know what the odds on it are for him to win. I know I had Acuna earlier in the season. That's not going to happen, but Acuna's sort of gotten back to his normal self. I think he has 25 stolen bases on the season, batting in the 270s, 11 home runs, 38 driven in. And he did start the season a little late with that reconstructive knee surgery, but he's almost back to where he used to be. And then just the emergence of Austin Riley. I mean, Austin Riley, uh, like I said, he's up there in the talks for ML or NL MVP right now. Right now, he's batting 287, 35 home runs, 88 driven in. He's playing amazing defense at third base. OPS is 923. That's just fucking insane.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this team, it's no surprise they came out of nowhere to win it all last year, and now they're coming out of nowhere to steal this division from the fucking Mets. And I know our boy Troy must be so fucking happy. Shout out Troy, we love you.
Yeah, and not only that, obviously Bryce Harper coming back. I'm getting the updates anytime he gets on base. I get a nice little update from Troy on Bryce Harper. So keep those coming as always. That about wraps up baseball for me. If you had any final thoughts, I can quickly run over this. There was a trade in the NBA before we wrap up
Yeah,
with
I think last thing,
yeah.
Pujols 5
Oh
away from
yeah.
700. He's sitting at 695 right now. So I'm really hoping he gets that.
Yeah. The only thing I'm kicking myself on is Barstool offered a prop when he was 10 away at it was plus 1100 for him to reach 700. And I mean, I'm like I said, that could have been kind of looking like it's gonna hit. A lot of time left. What, a month? About
Yeah, about
essentially
a
a month,
month.
a
Yeah.
little bit less than a month now of this season. You got like
And
three
the
or
way
four
that
games.
team is playing, they're clicking on all cylinders. They're feeling
Yeah.
good. They're gonna win that division.
And they
Like
do this
morale.
again really late
Yeah.
in seasons. They go the fuck
Yeah.
off. They have huge winning streaks, huge offensive explosions, and sure enough, it could be because of a guy like Albert Pujols just leading the way. Five at this point. I mean, it doesn't seem like when earlier this year when we were looking at 21, we're looking like that's going to be a mountain to climb. This seems like just an ant hill they can just crawl over now, walk over now. This seems
Yeah.
pretty obtainable, very much so. So as long
Oh
as
yeah, that was a good one.
again, maybe another I want to throw inside job on this one or pitchers, tipping Albert Pujols. Like maybe he's gonna get
Nah, I just
600.
think he's always smashed left-handed pitching. I
Yeah,
think the 8 of his last 9 home runs are against left-handed pitching.
yeah,
So like that's the only time he's playing.
that
And
makes sense.
honestly, like if he's still playing at this level, I know he wants to hang it up. I know he wants to fucking call it a career, and rightfully he should because he's had an amazing career. But he could still play. Like if
Yeah,
he was
fuck.
a every other day, even
He
you
can
got
go
the
around to
DH
AAA,
now.
make a couple
Yeah,
fucking.
you got a fucking DH now in the entire league. He can play third base or not third base, first base once a week and only hit against lefties. Like he could still do that at an elite level for a couple more
Or
years because he's doing it. Like
go in
it's
the
crazy.
same league as the Chicago Dogs to get him on the Dogs or something like that. So he can just every time an at bat he just
Yeah.
crushes a home run out of
Get
the
him on the
fucking out of the
bananas.
Oh, that would be so much fun,
Oh,
honestly. Holy shit. Yeah, that's baseball. If you had anything else, but like I said, I can quickly dive in on this Donovan Mitchell trade to the Cavaliers. The only reason, I mean, like I said, only bringing it up really because it kind of does pertain to the Bulls or within the Bulls division. Donovan Mitchell traded the Cavaliers for Colin Sexton, Laurie Markkinen. I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of this name. Okaya, Okaya. I'm guessing Agbaji, Agbaji,
Larry
AGBA.
Ogunjobi?
No, yeah,
Oh
Larry
God.
Ogunjobi.
Okay,
They
that's his name. We're not gonna.
yeah.
Yeah.
Three unprotected first round picks will also go to the Jazz, and as well as they're going to swap 2 other draft picks. So, I mean, you're getting 5 picks, you're swapping 2. You're getting 3 in the long run. You're getting 3 guys. I don't know about this last guy, but Colin Sexton was not a prominent, not a dominant point guard, but a guy that has a ton of potential. He was on the, he's averaging maybe under 20 points, just under, but that's a ton of potential right there. You got a nice clay figure. What can you do? Not Clay Thompson, but you have a molded clay right there. What can you do with this? I feel like an organization like the Jazz can very much benefit, and they did a phenomenal job getting all this stuff back for him. Laurie Markkinen in the same breath. he's not going to be he's just going to be the spot up shooting big man coming off the bench. And unlike the maybe the pressure that he would have been expecting and all these expectations that he had in Chicago and maybe halfway in Cleveland, there's going to be no pressure on him to be the guy when you got Rudy Gobert down there. He's going to be averaging 20 and 20. So he's just going to be, like I said, as long as he makes it when he does shoot, when he goes, 4 and 6 every night and he averages like 11 points and 5 rebounds or something like that. That's all that they're going to be looking for. So Markkanen's going to have, that's a nice little spot for him to land in, I feel. So the Jazz are still going to be looking good. On the flip side, looking at the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell is nothing to sneeze at. He's the potential to be within the top 20 in terms of every single year as long as he stays healthy. He very much is explosive. He can determine whether they win games or not without a doubt. So just another big name that the Bulls are going to have to lock down in some sort of fashion. Like I said, but giving away, if Colin Sexton was still on the Cavaliers, I feel like I'd be like, oh fuck. But now that they kind of trade away another big name piece that they had, potential to rely on, the Cavs, while they're probably going to win a couple more games than they should next year, this isn't all too frightening. Kind of know what we're going to get with Donovan Mitchell. So I it is what it is. This isn't like break emergency glass or whatever if you're a Bulls fan. Just something to look at. Obviously, something we're going to see a couple more times per year playing the Cavs a couple more times than any other team that we usually do within our division. So, uh, I mean that's essentially it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge. And like I said, it doesn't make the Cavs all that much better, all that much better than the Bulls. I don't think so. I think the Bulls can still probably either split the series or maybe even take full advantage and win these games outright throughout the
Yeah.
series. So I like it. We'll see how it goes.
Speaking of fucking Larry Ogunjobi and weird ass fucking names, just for the commencement of the 2022 football season, I'm gonna give you Bears fans a weird fucking name that I know you all forgot about, but you're all gonna fucking remember.
mm,
Adwadlie Ogunlaye. You remember him, defensive end, 05, 06 Super Bowl,
oh
opposite fucking
jeez,
Alex Brown. Dude, he's like an African prince. Like he's an actual like prince in Africa, and he
what?
decided to come here and play football with the Bears. So,
That's a deep
Ad,
cut name right
yeah,
there.
Adwadlie Ogunlaye. That was one of my favorite fucking players back
Yeah,
then.
if you don't, as long as you don't spill any on me, I don't care what you do. So yeah, that was basketball right there. Like I said, really quick, really down and in and out of it. I don't know, I don't even know when the next anything is for basketball is. Who cares? Probably the season's right around the corner with how I feel like all the time with Halloween coming up or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in like 2 months, that's when the season starts. With all that, we can just wrap up with some wrestling. We had a huge. I mean, all we went all out. They went all out. It was all out weekend. We got CM Punk back as champion. MJF is back, and Mike even spilled Sprite on some dude. This was
Oh, great.
AEW. This was, I mean, we can take you a little bit deep dive into Dynamite. Seeing Omega Young Bucks versus Aussie Open and Will Ospreay, so much fun, such a fun match. I mean, you can hate on the style of Young Bucks matches, Omega matches, but I mean, Will Ospreay is just so talented. Aussie Open is as well. They're very underrated, without a doubt. Like I said, if you can hate on the style and the fast pace and the no selling and the this and the that, when it really comes down to it was a very entertaining match. The Elite got the win in that. Later went on to get the win in the pay per view. I'll break down the pay per view match by match in a couple seconds, but that was basically the rundown on Wednesday. Uh, Friday, I'm trying to think what was anything notable really trying to stick out of my mind. I don't know. Obviously, Dynamite. There was also the CM Punk promo. That was a lot of fun, juicing up the crowd, getting everyone going for the big match on Sunday. Saturday was the convention or the fan fest. Got to meet a bunch of people. I met Ricky Starks. Uh, Met Will Hobbs in passing again. Vicky Guerrero in passing by again. Met Sky Blue in line. Met
Oh.
Man, talk to Alex.
I
The,
am
the
blue.
who's the Penta says guy? Alex
Alex
something.
Abrahantes or
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Again seeing him in
It just
passing, and I
says.
said Penta says buy an HP computer, and he was like, "What?" It's because he's also like he's like an advertising for the HP computers. Again, a deep cut. Uh, I'm glad I didn't make Kip Sabian like Alan and Mike did, because I probably would have got us kicked out talking shit to him. Luckily, I went to while I was getting a drink in that time while they met him. I saw Brian Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli, so I'll take that over that any day, as well as Andrade and Roosh. So I'm kind of bragging on all the fucking people I met. I would highly suggest FanFest. Anybody that does those AEW loves the AEW shows, but just hasn't gone to one of those yet. Super interactive. Right as it starts, it does like all the upcoming toys and action figures. They do live podcasts, they do live interviews right in front of everybody. Everybody's right there, like in your face. Again, like just referees and other people like behind the scenes are just walking around in street clothes, nothing to worry about, because they just know it's a bunch of fucking wrestling fans that if they see them, they see them, they say hi like I would, give them a fist bump and high five and whatnot. But all together, so lackadaisical. I'm a big fan of the Fan Fest, and I don't have it. It's all the way over there, but I was able to snag the one of 3,000 Karushida new Shop AEW figure. So I
God
mean,
bless you.
yeah. I know. Again, hopefully, I'll clean it up. I'll clean my mic off after that one. But all in all, getting to the nitty gritty of it, we'll talk all out everything that happened in between. Uh, like I said, before we get into all out, was there anything big that you want to talk about, or we just, like I said, I can just dive in on all
Yeah,
these
yeah, we can
matches?
hop right in. I don't. You said people don't like the way the elite wrestle. I don't understand why. Like they're awesome watching Kenny the
Yeah,
Young
no,
Bucks
no,
met
it's
go
it's
at it.
more it's more or less the traditionalist guys. Like I said, I listen to Jim Cornette podcast, so I listen to him bitch and moan for about 4 hours. Not the whole 4 hours, but I'll tidbits on YouTube. I listen to his clips, but just yeah, just a lot of the older guys. I'm in this Facebook page. I'm in that Facebook page. I'm just engulfed in wrestling Twitter. So I'm completely fucked. So I might not be reading what everybody else is reading necessarily, but yeah, people just don't like the gymnastic type matches that they have
Oh, boo-hoo.
where yeah, I know where it's I mean, I don't want to be the hater. You get what you get with a Young Bucks match. You know it's going to be flips, kicks, no selling. Matt Jackson's going to do that thing where he grabs two people and flips them over his head. Uh the like I said, super kick, super kick, super kick. Nick Jackson does his little thing where he kicks you in the head, flies through the ropes, does a moonsault over somebody, flies back in, does another move on somebody. So yeah, if you're not a fan of, like I said, no selling, constant double teams, super kicks, I can see where your headache is coming from. But when you actually sit down and watch it, and you don't, you're not like me, you're not fucking retarded with it. You can actually sit there and just absorb it, and you should have fun. And I do too with it. I look forward to elite matches 9 times out of ten.
Yeah,
So,
I do too. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean
I
that
mean, fuck, that Kenny Omega match was amazing the other night.
absolutely without a
With the
doubt.
All Out, which we'll get to. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess just starting with 0 hour. Like I said, not gonna harp on them anymore. I'll maybe a comment here or there. You can throw in your thoughts in there as well if you have any at all. I can just, like I said, blow through these as fast as possible. So it opened up the 0 hour, first 0 hour since All In. If I don't know, if not many people probably think that's important, the name of the pre-show or whatever, but it's usually like the buy-in, or it's the just whatever. So 0 hour making its
I like
return.
Zero Hour. I
Yeah,
really like that.
sounds badass to me.
It
It's like
does.
kind of just gives
Zero Hour. It's like
yeah, it
some
gives me
fucking
the
James Bond lingo.
yeah, it gives me the zero. It gives me the UFC vibes of like it's the prelims. Like it gives me like, oh, like we know, give me like a name or like an ID to what that first hour is going to be, what that first couple hours are going to be. 0 hour again. Start off with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, or Sammy Guevara and Ty Guevara, I guess, beating Ortiz and Ruby Soho for those mixed gender tag titles from AAA. I just like the opening of Sammy Guevara getting hit by a golf cart again. So I think
Yeah,
that
he
should leave
got
us on
clean
that.
clocked, straight ran over. Like that was an
Oh
awesome way
yeah.
to start the
No, yeah.
match.
Taking if you, I kind of watched it earlier today. I'm not, I don't always watch it, but check the Sammy Guevara vlog. That's the opening for that vlog as well. Him just getting hit by the golf cart again. If you weren't able to get a glimpse of it. So yeah, Sammy and Ty get the win. Pretty decent. I mean, nothing all too special. Next we had Hook beating Angelo Parker for the FTW title. Again, nothing too crazy. Hook having a hook match, throwing people around left and right. The only big thing at the end was having Action Bronson over in the side, and then him coming out to help Hook later on at the end of the after the match was all said and done. I just love the online that everyone's like, "Oh my God, Bray Wyatt is all elite," thinking, not thinking, but just like just trolling that Action Bronson and Bray Wyatt look the same.
Hmm.
Uh,
He
Either
lost
way,
a lot of weight
yes,
too.
he did.
Action
He
Bronson
dropped like
didn't know
40
that.
pounds. Yeah, he dropped like
Yeah.
40 pounds and got, he's very into lifting, but he's big into food. He was he had the Vice show about food. Regardless, Hook, I mean, if anyone does like, oh, what's Action Bronson doing there? Action Bronson does the rap, he does the intro for Hook. So that's why he was there in the beginning. Next, we had Pac and Kip Sabian. Pac defeating Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic Championship. Pretty good. Pac, of course, like I assumed, like I predicted, carried the match. He is the top tier talent right there. Fuck Kip Sabian.
Yeah, and then we got an interesting little fucking headbutt. No, not a headbutt, running in and at the end I said the wrong way. Fucking walking up the ramp, we get Orange Cassidy coming out and
Oh, that's
basically
right. Yeah.
calling out fucking Pack. And I guess that match is official. I think that's gonna happen
No,
tomorrow.
it's not
Or
a
is it
singles
not?
match. It's not a singles match. It's going to be Death Triangle versus the Best Friends and
Oh,
Orange
okay, that's what
Cassidy,
it is.
which is
Okay.
much better. They already did Pac versus Orange Cassidy at Revolution last year or 2 years ago in Chicago already. So I mean, in terms of like the fans probably do want to see it. They'll get it. They won't get enough Orange Cassidy, but been there, done that. I've kind of already seen that. I'm in the realms of I want to see Pac in competitive matches with these top tier guys. I just don't want to see him in comedy matches. I don't want to see it. That's not what I paid to see with Pac. Uh Last match in the 0 hour, Eddie Kingston beating Ishii, which is far better whatever him and Guevara were going to have together. But this was just a chops galore, headbutts, back and forth. Who was going to be the tougher son of a bitch? And sure enough, Eddie Kingston gets the win after they got a split series now. Ishii getting the first win at Capital Punishment or Capital uh, whatever it was, the last New Japan show that happened in Washington or something like that. And Eddie Kingston getting this win now. Maybe we get a third match. That would be pretty interesting to see. Probably on the next New Japan pay per view or something like that. Something to look forward to. Any thoughts on that one before we get into the main card?
Yeah, that was just hard hitting back and
Yeah,
forth. The one dude sitting behind us, he was like, "Man, this match is gonna be better than some of the matches on the main card." And
yeah,
in my head, I was like, "Yeah, you're probably fucking right," because that was a banger. The crowd was into that one. And you know what? I fucking hated Eddie Kingston when I first got into AEW. I'm starting to come around on him,
good.
and I really hope one day, even if it's for like a month, just put like a title on Eddie Kingston because I feel like we'd get one of those mankind beating the Rock pops. If it
Yeah,
was at like a bigger like Grand Slam coming up, I'm not saying doing it there, but if it's at Grand Slam or one of the bigger Dynamite shows or even one of the pay-per-views where he's just a heavy underdog and he wins a fucking title, I feel like that would be an awesome moment for the
it
fans because a lot of people love that too.
Yeah, he's definitely a fan favorite. If you gave him the TNT title, you would I think you would give that title meaning again. It would be the most meaningful it would be again since Cody had it. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
I've had my coarse words on Cody, but since the elite's past actions these past couple days, I've kind of flipped my decision on that to not be so harsh on Cody anymore. While he is a bit of an airhead, I think there was something else underlying in those arguments that was happening back and forth. But if you give Eddie Kingston the opportunity, he's going to run with it. He has the mouth and the charisma to just make things happen. And again, if you gave him you gave him the team, it wouldn't be as much if you gave him the FTW title. That means as much as Ricky Starks tried to make it mean something, it means still nothing. But if you gave Eddie Kingston the TNT title, again, as much as I love Wardlow, he doesn't have the on mic, like he can't make you excited with his words. He needs to just do it with being the big dominant guy. Eddie Kingston can make you feel. So if you give him the title, maybe not the world heavyweight title, give him the TNT title, make it worth something again, make a meaningful storyline out of it again. Because it could be cool, like you just said, if it's like just a pain in the ass heel. And while you can't use MJF for this one right now, if you gave Sammy Guevara the title again, and then you could finally run this feud, have Eddie Kingston win the TNT title. Be like, I did it for my mother. I did it for this. That'd
I
be
did
pretty
it for
fucking
my
cool.
mother.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty cool. It'd be a big opportunity for, like you said, a big pop, which was unfortunately missed earlier in this story. But I wanted to kind of go through match by match. So main card opened with the casino ladder match. Uh, this was fun. I mean, there's a lot of high spots, but I mean, the biggest you kind of just focus on the end. It was kind of quick in terms of it was just they came out, they did a spot, came out, did a spot. Finally, the Joker. I mean, not finally, but we see a group with all in black. They got masks on. We can kind of tell who it is already halfway. Uh, they go ahead, they beat the shit out of everybody that's still standing in the ring. They one of them climbs up the ladder, takes the casino chip, reveals himself to be Stokely Hardaway. I don't know what his current last name is right now. I believe W.A. Morrissey reveals himself. Ethan Page reveals himself, and I think there's one more. Am I wrong or am I tweaking?
Uh, who'd you say? You said
I said
Morrissey, Ethan
Morrissey,
Page,
Page,
the Ass
Stokely.
Boys,
The Ass
the
Boys were in
Ass
there?
Boys. Yeah, the Ass Boys
Oh,
were. Yeah, cool. Yeah,
oh,
they
I didn't
were. Yeah,
know. Okay, so there
yeah,
were
the
two
Ass
of them.
Boys were
Okay,
in there.
so
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
okay, so those were the other two for sure. Okay, like I said, it couldn't have just been the three of them. That would have been making no sense. That three guys come in and beat up eight other guys or seven other guys, whatever. The final Joker comes in and is simply just handed the chip. The Joker wins the match. I mean, everyone and their mother should know that it was MJF. He had the same mannerisms, the same little cocky walk. He was literally the same frame. They didn't give him like a, I don't know. I would have given him like a heel, like a fucking boost in the shoe to give him like 2 inches taller or something like that, just so he doesn't look the exact fucking same. But either way, I mean, it was inevitable. It was MJF for sure, and I mean, that was the casino battle. Like I keep saying casino battle royal, casino ladder match, for a future AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Uh, Let me see. Next match after that, we had the inaugural Trios Tag Team Champions going to be crowned between the Young Bucks, Omega, and then the Dark Order with Hangman. I like this match, just back and forth. No, there was no the Angel, the whatever by Omega.
The One Winged
Yeah,
Angel.
one
Yeah.
winged angel. Yeah, sorry. When we get towards the end of this, I get a little lackadaisical. But Hangman hits the buckshot lariat on John Silver. And he's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And I think whoever Matt Jackson or Nick Jackson knock him out. Omega gets the pin on John Silver, making them the first trios tag team champions. Overall, like I said, pretty exciting. The choreo, everyone had their spots. Everyone had their spot. At a certain point, it did look like Dark Order we're gonna get this, put one over on old Omega and Young Bucks, but just gonna add the legacy, I guess, of the Young Bucks, making them the first trios tag team champions. They currently the only two-time AEW tag team champions, and then sure enough, another thing for Omega. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. You couldn't go wrong either way. I felt like if you did, up until the Bobby Fish not getting extension news, I thought that they were gonna do Dark Order and Hangman win, and then have Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly come out and like, oh, we're the next challengers now. But I mean, they could also do the same exact thing with Omega and the Young Bucks. I'm not entirely sure. So we'll see how that goes. Did you have anything on that one?
That was just a fun match. Love to see Kenny back in action.
Awesome.
He seems to be 100%. Love watching that dude. And uh, yeah, I feel like him and Hangman might have some unfinished business going forward.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Everyone popped, of course. That was one of the big ones, getting them two in the ring together. So I haven't seen that
Yeah.
since the title match. Next one, Jade Cargill makes Athena number 37 in her streak. Like I said there, and I'll say it now: 37-0. Undertaker, who exactly? Jade Cargill retains the TBS championship, looking like She-Hulk. And honestly, the match was a little shaky, but that's kind of how all her matches are. But she may have looked the best in that match. In her match, I mean, it was only like 4 minutes. Kind of got the best of it. Athena does that, or did her little jump from the top rope and did the stunner, and everyone thought that was going to be it. They should have just. I mean, it was a blatant disqualification. You can't lay your hands on any of the participants if you're not in the match. So that should have been a DQ right there. But whatever. I'll take Jake Cargill getting a clean win or whatever over that any day. It doesn't really matter. I already spent way too much time on it. You probably have no thoughts on it at all. I'll get into FTR and Wardlow. I don't know if this is their official name, but FT War was the signage and stuff I saw for them. So I think that's pretty cool. They went ahead and beat the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal. Uh, Not a lot of people, and I guess they even brought it up on Rampage or on Wednesday night. Like, why are we having this match? This has nothing to do with anything. This isn't for anything. I think it was more or less just a setup to get Samoa Joe back, and that's. I mean, I didn't think that at the time, but after like seeing that Samoa Joe returned after, it was just a setup for him to come back. Like we made mention to last week, Twisted Metal, the production, that cartoon that he had a voice acting role in, that wrapped up about a week ago or so. So his schedule's clear, ready to roll. He didn't have an injury. He was just in doing that. So I think that was a kind of a perfect way to set him up. Get him rolling with the Jay Lethal slash Satman Singh if they're trying to do that little role. And then, I mean, just the cherry on top was having Sanjay Dutt wearing that fight like an 8-year-old girl t-shirt, but he wrote fight like an 8-year-old brat on it. I guess
Yeah.
he scratched that out and put that in there. And then of course Dex's daughter coming out, snapping the pencil, getting the pin. It was just so much fun. I mean, that's the little things that just make
Yeah,
wrestling
that
so
was
much
an
fun.
awesome little moment.
Oh, excuse me. I kind of power through these like Power Hobbs beating Starks. I honestly expected a little bit more, but I mean, again, looking at this long card, you gotta cut time where you have to, especially when the next match after, I'm pretty sure if my timeline was correct, Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. And I mean, we'll take a couple minutes on this. This was in my mind, in terms of maybe not like what everyone was looking forward to, probably Moxley and Punk for the most part, and then you probably argue that the Elite Trios tag match is what a lot of other people were looking forward to. But in terms of the most crowd interaction, the most like ohs and ahs and chants and all the creativity, this match may have been the best match on the card. So they should, I mean, everyone and their mother saying it, maybe should have called the audible and gave the Acclaim the tag titles, but in the long run, I feel as though you still kind of did this. You did the right thing, keeping the guy that you're paying the most out of all four of those guys, Keith Lee. Give him the title, let him have it. But I mean, this was so interesting. Not a turn necessarily on Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, but getting booed when not when they're not the heels. But I mean, this was just so much fun, so much crowd interaction. It was like, oh, scissor me, daddy. Oh, that just all of that, just all the play on words from the Keith Lee bask in his glory to just doing it with scissors. It's just so much fun. It was such a fun match to be a part of. And like I said, maybe a missed opportunity with getting that Acclaimed the tag titles right then and there, but they're running it back next week or at Grand Slam if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure that they'll make the right decision then and there. But I mean, like I said, what were you thinking on this match? This was so much
Yeah,
fun.
I think this was the best match of the night, in my
Yeah.
opinion. This was the most entertaining. I mean, fuck, the tag team division so stacked, and I'm glad that they take it seriously. Like the tag team wrestling can be just as entertaining as singles wrestling, honestly, it has been ever since I got into AEW. The tag team matches have been awesome. Going back to I think last year, All Out, when you guys were there, the cage match with the Lucha Bros and the
Young
Young
Bucks, yeah.
Bucks. That's been an amazing match. You've had so many great matches over the last couple months, and now this one. I agree. I get why you left the titles on Swerve in Our Glory. And if you saw the media scrum afterwards, yeah, Tony pretty much did confirm that Grand Slam, that's what he wants to do. And they were like shutting it down. Like Swerve and Keith Lee are like, why do we have to do this? Like we just beat them, blah, blah, blah. So maybe they are sort of playing that heel now. And he said Keith Lee said a couple things about social media, and he's beneath that, and he doesn't take anything the losers on there say seriously.
Okay.
So like, yeah,
Maybe they
he
are
did say some
establishing them being
interesting things.
heels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did
that'd be
say
pretty
some
cool.
some interesting things during the media scrum. And one of the dudes asked like, why didn't you call an audible? And Tony Khan and Swerve immediately shut that down. And Swerve's like, listen, we the champs. People don't want to see us with the belts. That's fine. We're gonna keep whooping y'all's asses. And Tony Khan was like, oh, we just did what was right. We blah blah blah. He was like totally ignoring the
Yeah,
question. And but yeah, I 2 weeks, or when is it? 2 weeks from now, end of the month, right? The
yeah,
20. Yeah. So I hope we get to see that again, because
yeah.
that was an amazing match. And fuck, I don't know if the ass or I don't know if the acclaim, who's over more, the acclaimed or fucking Billy Gunn. Like
Oh, that's a good
they're
question.
exactly
Oh man.
who's really like pushing that group? Is it them because of their wrestling and their pre-match raps and everything like that, and them scissoring everybody, or is it because of Daddy Ass?
I
Like,
mean, I won't take away anything that they claim do, but having Daddy Ass there helps way more than him not being there. I'll tell you that
yeah,
much.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, ultimately that may have been, like I said, on paper, like I said, not the you're not going to jump and say, oh, that's going to be the match of the night. That potentially could have been the match of the night right then and there, depending on what your preferences were. Uh, like I said, I won't sit here and say missed opportunity. I would have been a humongous pop, obviously, if they won. But
yeah,
in terms of just in my mind, when I also think in the business side of it, it's still a good move on Tony Khan's part. So I won't harp on him for that. After that, I took a break. I kind of just had to, unfortunately. Tony Storm wins the women's title. I think it was a pretty entertaining match. From I was catching glimpses and hearing reactions while I was trying to honestly just go to the bathroom. I was just so many matches deep into that and a couple beers. They had a couple Steve Weisers, so yeah, it is what it is. But I was able to catch the ending. Julia Hart, I think that no, not Julia Hart, Jamie Hayter, not getting the turn. She's trying to pin, and Britt Baker pulls her out or whatever the fuck. So the maybe a little storyline going in there. But yeah, sure enough, Tony Storm gets the win. You were sitting out for the whole thing. Was there anything of importance or anything?
yeah. It was a fun match. I mean, you
Good.
got the whole Hikaru Shida getting injured, going to the back, coming out with the double kendo sticks, fucking Grievous style, just beating the shit out of everybody. Again, I thought that would have been like a DQ. I don't know. I guess the refs
No,
in
fatal
AEW
four
are just
way.
different.
They just say
No
fuck it.
DQs? Okay,
They
so
just say
there's
fuck
no
it.
DQs in those matches then. So yeah, she came out, started beating the shit out of everybody. Everybody was rooting for him, Jamie Hayter. Everybody, there were Hayter chants going left and right. Yeah, she had a great match. There's definitely the little back and forth going now between her and Britt Baker. That's going to be interesting. They need to break up that fucking group because I can't stand all three of those fucking women together. I do like Jamie Hayter. I do like her, but she needs to just get out of fucking Britt Baker's shadow and go
Yeah.
off on her own little fucking path now because DMD's holding her back. Come on.
There you go.
But yeah, Tony Storm gets it. She's the new interim champ. We'll see. Her and fuck Thunder Rosa had the title match where Thunder Rosa retained, and then they became tag partners together. And now she's quote unquote hurt. Who knows if that's even true? So we'll see if she comes back. But for now, we got a decent champ in Tony Storm.
Absolutely. She'll be able to keep it in the meantime. And I mean you're kind of falling in the same plan. Thunder Rosa being a face, Tony Storm being a face. So obviously not the same person, but you're the same gimmick, same style. You can run the same storylines and not have to make any big adjustments to anything that you had like plan wise. I'll plow through these three before the main event. I know you want to probably comment on the last one that I say. So Christian beating Jungle Boy. This Luchasaurus beating the shit out of him right before. The storyline's just all convoluted to me. Kind of weird. I don't know
Yeah, it
who's
totally
aligned with.
is.
So yeah, that's basically been it. That's been the drawback from that. But
Yeah, I heard
eventually,
Christian was hurt though. I heard he
oh,
was like
okay.
really
He
hurt, and
is.
that's
He's just an
why.
old man. I
Yeah.
mean, eventually down the line, we will get a Jungle Boy Christian match, but I think this sets up. Now we'll get a Jungle Boy Luchasaurus match and then a Jungle Boy Christian match. So that'll be fine. Lionheart Chris Jericho makes his return, kicks Danielson in the balls and hits the Judas Effect, beats Danielson flat 1, 2, 3. No Daniel Garcia coming out, having to get involved in that, which we all thought was going to happen some sort of fashion, but he just didn't come out for the celebration. It is what it is. Danielson can take a loss and not look bad. It's just how good he is. Last one before the main event, Miro, Sting, and Darby beat the House of Black. The only big thing from this was it wasn't on the broadcast, it wasn't on the TV on the pay-per-view. Malachi does a kiss and a bow to the crowd, hopefully not signifying that he's going to be gone, leaving the company, maybe just gone for a little bit of time. And I kind of want to just get your where your head's at it, because he is one of your top guys. He's one of your favorite guys. So
Yeah, he's been my go-to guy ever since, getting back into wrestling, watching AEW with you guys. He's always been my favorite. We were sporting the fucking face paint, the fucking eye black for him at All Out, so I had to support him. Yeah, there's been rumors that he requested the time off, and a lot of people thought he was unhappy with his spot in the company, and I guess it's the complete opposite. Like he was happy, but he just wanted time off for personal reasons. He said he's not hasn't been in like the right headspace the last couple months. He sort of just wants some time off to relax and to decompress. And if that's the case, that's all fine. We're not going to ever hold anything against anybody for doing something like that.
absolutely
So
not.
if it was his last match for the time being, I'm glad I was there to see it because love the House of Black. I still think even without him, that faction can sort of go on.
Yeah, they kind of established
Maybe
that, giving Brody Key some pretty key important wins, winning the Rampage the Royal Rampage or whatever, beating Darby Allin a couple times. I think he got the loss in that coffin match, but just like throwing his name up there and like putting it up on like the top tier matches and whatever the fuck. So just being able to promote Brody King, I feel like it's good. Establish him as a top guy. They just haven't been doing that to Buddy Matthews because he was also coming off an injury as of late. So if they can have Brody King and Buddy Matthews still carry the House of Black flag and be in tag team matches, be in
yeah,
maybe
I
another
agree.
trios match if they get somebody else in the House of Black for the meantime or something like that. But I mean, it could be a detriment for them all three to not to take time off. Hopefully Malachi Tommy N does get better and just quicker than he thinks he should or whatever. So it does sound a little selfish, but just in terms of helping himself out and helping out others, I feel like that would just be beneficial if he can just get everything cleared out. And then, yeah, just to clarify the rumors, yes, he did ask for his release. It was denied. It was just simply for the fact of they just didn't want to let him go, and then eventually they will. They're just going to give him the time off that he wants without a release. And I feel like that's pretty cool. So I mean, well, maybe the pressure of like, oh, I kind of do have to come back, but it's a little less hairy for AEW having to potentially re-sign him on a contract when he's a free agent and have a WWE, MLW, or whatever the fuck try and sign him back as well. So just gives AEW the leg up in terms of negotiation. I like that. Uh, and then yeah, the last match, the main event, CM Punk. Oh, I got CM Punk in Chicago beat John Moxley, and it was a short-lived
And CM Punk
celebration.
and Chicago and the nurses and the coffee shop and Larry.
Yeah,
Shout out Larry, one of the greatest pops of the night. He got loose.
yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know if any of
fun.
you watching, but I don't know if that made it onto the T. It probably didn't. It
No, it
didn't make it
didn't.
on. It was
No,
before the fucking
it was
not
before
buy-in,
Zero
before
Hour.
0 hour.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
before the Zero Hour even
Larry
happened.
got loose, was running around the fucking ring. The security guards were chasing him down. That was
Yeah, that
hilarious.
was a lot of fun. Yeah, so yeah, like you said, Chicago, the nurses, Mandy's bakery that he plugged at the media scrum, they all beat John Moxley. Uh I mean, this is why I can say, and we'll tie this into the media scrum and the elite fighting CM Punk in general. You can have an exciting match without the flips, the dives, the no selling, the kicks, the comedy. You can have this hard hitting, impactful match with emotion tied to it, and it's simply the same pop that you got from flipping and jumping onto somebody and potentially hurting yourself and the other person. You got the same pop from just flipping him off. That's the same thing. That's all you want. You want a crowd reaction from doing as shitty as it sounds, doing the minimalist stuff as possible for the biggest reactions. And CM Punk and guys like Moxley, CM Punk, MJF, they see the bigger picture. They see that this is a business first. And while they don't want to, harp on the whole idea that Kenny Omega brings and does this when he did this when he came back and did that little promo afterward after the lights went out saying, oh, we want to revolutionize this, we want to change the way that you intake wrestling. If you want to do that, that's all cool, but you also have to realize that people are just trying to make money. When you get in the way of that, you fuck everything up. And that's why I'm on the CM Punk side and all this media scrum bullshit, all this apparent fighting and altercations. Apparently, it's not a work. There's gonna be legal action because Ace Steel bit Kenny Omega, pulled his hair, threw a
Shit.
chair at Nick Jackson. Matt Jackson may have been knocked out by CM Punk, and you're like, oh, how did this fucking happen? Oh, that's because the Young Bucks and Omega went in to Punk's locker room. They instigated this whole thing. The whole he said she said part comes down to who threw the first punch, which can't be identified just yet. I don't think there was any camera in there. So that's
There
why I'm
was that
on.
little scene. Did you end up watching the media scrum
I
or the
caught a
media thing?
lot.
There
I
was
didn't watch the whole thing. I was thinking it was like an
there
hour and
was
a half
one
long.
camera view where it was from like the right side of the room, and it was during Swerve and Our Glory and Tony Khan. And that's apparently when the fight happened, where they were in the middle of the interview, and in the very corner of the screen, you
Yeah,
see like three or four security guards run out of the room
yeah. And
and
then you can also
sprint them
you
out.
can
Yeah.
read Chris Jericho's mouth to when he taps on Tony Khan at the very end of the media scrum. He's like, some shit went down. You can read his lips, and he said that. So yeah, like I said, this
Oh,
isn't a
okay. I
work.
did that
This
part, but yeah.
is yeah, this is legit. I would think Ace Steel, that CM Punk's guy, unfortunately, is probably going to be gone in some sort
I
of
think I
capacity.
think he is. I think I already read something that he is gone.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to fire him. You can't. As petty, the Young Bucks and Omega are too fucking petty. They're not gonna let that slide. Uh, it's just not gonna let that go. And my thing is exactly that. Is the elite's pettiness is what gonna drive out CM Punk out of this fucking company, and it's gonna piss me off to no end, and it's gonna be so detrimental. It's everything that CM Punk said in the media scrum. They're fucking up every single business opportunity. Every time they're gonna have $1 million house, and they're potentially gonna Adam Page is gonna potentially fuck that up because what? Because he wants to stick up for Colt Cabana again. We're gonna get back to this guy after CM Punk literally just obliterated him at that media scrum. Dude, he shares a fucking excuse me, a bank account with his mother. That's fucking embarrassing. You're a grown man. I mean, it's beyond that. Again, CM Punk called out everybody. He laid it out right away. He was going to take no for. I mean, he's just going to take names and say I apologize afterward. Uh, call out the media right away, asking everyone there, are you journalists? Are you truly journalists? Because everything that I've read is basically bullshit. Everything that comes out, nothing has come out of my mouth. And then essentially again, going over again. He's like, why? It's 2022. I haven't been friends with Colt Cabana since 2014. Why in the fuck? It's embarrassing that we have to go over this. It's embarrassing that people care about what another grown man's best friend is, who he's friends with. It's like I said, it's disgusting. Focusing on all the wrong things, focusing on the fact that it's the Young Bucks' fault. It's the Young Bucks, the Elite's fault that all this shit is happening. And like I said, you brought it up in our UCW group chat or whatever, just our fucking wrestling group chat that we have on the phone. Like, oh, it seems to be that wherever CM Punk goes, drama follows. I'll argue the exact opposite because now we're kind of seeing that. Oh, why did Cody Rhodes leave? Nothing was said because a bunch of non-disclosed or NDAs or whatever were probably signed, so he's not going to say anything. But he's probably just pushed out because he just can't deal with that bullshit anymore. Just the constant fucking you can't play with us. I'm gonna take my ball and go home fucking attitude that the Young Bucks have and they've had since PWG days. I would think that for every fucking pissed off wrestler that they know now, there's another 50 indie wrestlers that probably are blackballed that we don't know about or will ever know about because they didn't want to play the Young Bucks game. They didn't want to grab Joey Ryan's dick in PWG. They didn't want to take the fucking silly little, I don't know, Kenny Omega spots every now and again. So they got blackballed. They're not going to be able to see in that light ever again. So I don't know. I'm not everything that comes out and you can hammer it which way or the other that oh CM Punk is difficult to work with. When you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, not everyone has come out and said it. Then CM Punk has been the only one on record to bitch and moan in public about what the Young Bucks actually do behind the scenes. But I mean, sure enough, as time goes by, more of these stories will happen, and it's inevitable. I don't know. I'm in the ways and I'm going to be very upset if the Young Bucks and the Kenny Omega find another way to fuck up more business for AEW. And while again, I'll say one more thing and I'll let you talk if you have any fucking thing on it. This EVP status that they have, it means nothing. They don't have any control over anything. Tony Khan has all the money and everything. He decides everything, and he has a plethora of money. If you listen to Jericho's comments on whatever past interview he was on, it wasn't on his podcast. And we already know this. We talked to some guy that just some fucking crackhead in Jacksonville when we were there. The Khan family have a never ending fund of money. They will never ever run out of money. They have some sort of patent on a bumper that goes on a fucking car. They will never ever run out of money. They will pay everybody everything to stay where they are. And if they feel as though the elite is a problem, bye bye. They're not going to pay them. They don't care. We've already seen it happen before. We'll see it happen again. And whether that's going to be a detriment to Tony Khan, it doesn't matter because the adults that want to watch wrestling and not deal with this fucking little drama bullshit, politics bullshit that the Young Bucks and the Elite do every single fucking time, blackball guys and shit like that. I'm over it. I'm absolutely over it. So until they prove it to me that they can grow up and act like this, that ship has already sailed. CM Punk already said that they're way past apologies now. It's over. It's over in my mind. I don't know if the trios, the newly crowned trios tag team champions, want to already take their ball, go home, and leave and fuck off. Feel free. I'm more than okay because now I got MJF back. I got CM Punk as champion. I'll have fucking I don't even care. Maybe the Acclaim will be the new tag team champions. I still have FTR. I'm content. I'm okay. So there you go.
Yeah, I feel like the entitlement they have just because they've been around from the beginning is very prominent, like in the back. Like I feel like they feel like they own shit. They feel like they're the leaders of the locker
It
room. They can
wasn't just
sort of
now. Like I said, it's back in the
exactly like you
day.
said.
PWG
Exactly.
days.
So that's exactly what I've heard and I've read too. Like this isn't the first time, and all the bullshit with Colt Cabana. Keep like okay, even if the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega are friends with them, and I don't know if they are or not. Like, keep your fucking mouth shut. Like, are you really worried about Colt Cabana getting fired? You're gonna blame that on CM Punk? Like, I don't think. I think Colt Cabana got himself fired because he was like the last member of the Dark Order. They have met wrestling once a fucking month on Dark Elevation. Like, you're really gonna worry about that fucking guy? Doesn't matter how close you are, and you could be best friends in the world with the guy. He does nothing for wrestling. He does nothing for AEW at all. So I feel like it's fucking it's so far beyond like I'm sorry and making amends now. Like, somebody's gotta fucking go. Like, Tony Khan, he could have all the money in the world, but I don't. They're not gonna want to fucking work and share a locker room and
No,
do shit with each other now after all this bullshit. So you could offer them all the money in the world if Hangman and CM Punk or the Young Bucks and Kenny or whoever the fuck hate each other. Like, it's beyond money now. So Tony Khan has to pull a fucking rabbit out of his ass and
yeah.
find a way to either get these guys to I don't even want to say be friends. You don't have to be friends to be able to fucking with each other in this business. Just I don't know, find a way to mind your own business and just learn how to work together.
They won't get out of their own fucking way. They're just so selfish. And we were talking. I'm talking about past altercations or whatever PWG days. Even if you want to flip to like a month ago, 2 weeks ago, really, uh, it was basically their decision to leave FTR out of the video game. It's just little petty shit like that, and it's the fact that no, they don't want. They could have easily ran FTR versus Bucks 3 for all the titles at All Out. Want to know what they did? They want to say no. We're gonna be labeled as the only two-time champs, tag team champs as of right now. We're gonna carry that. We're gonna throw that on our legacy card for as long as we can because we know well. I mean, there was like I said, other than just throwing in Samoa Joe in that match, FTR should be doing anything else. FTR should be the tag champions. It should be almost main eventing fucking events at this point. It's beyond me.
Yeah,
If we're really if AEW is like, oh, we are the tag team, we identify as we're the tag team wrestling, make FTR your champions. It makes no fucking sense other than the fact that you have three fucking babies that don't want to put anybody else over when it's clearly good for business, but you want to fucking cut your own leg off every single opportunity that you have that you can. So it's just little shit like that. And I don't know. I don't see it getting better. It's going to be obviously, like, yeah, I already mentioned past apologies. They're mad at each other. Tensions are wearing thin, and like you showed your ass. Now I'll include all four of them. I'll include Hangman now. You showed your ass. Who's going to want to work with you now? You got especially now Hangman. He's going to do an important promo and do a shoot on you. Do you have the same trust in him when you're actually in a match? Like, that's what it really comes down to. Just someone's gonna jump off the top rope, or do when he does that little fucking moonsault, or like I can just not catch you, bro. I'm just not gonna do that. And they can do the same way and in the same thing. Like, I just throw an elbow or a fucking shoot punch in the middle of a match. Who's gonna feel completely 100% reliable on the Young Bucks, Kenny and the Hangman now? I don't know. I really don't know. And you can flip on it and say it's CM Punk. I don't feel that way. I feel all the serious guys, like I said, Moxley, Punk, MJF. I'm sure, like I said, FTR, guys who want to fucking make a business, make the business around them better, while also, putting money in their pocket, putting money in everybody else's pocket, just getting AEW out there in general. But no, the Young Bucks want to stay the Cucamonga kids, stay within. They think it's still fucking whatever they're from, Rancho Cucamonga. They're just to that niche PWG audience when there's millions upon millions of people not knowing what AEW is, but you don't want to expand and do anything because you won't be the face of the franchise, the face of the company anymore. Get the fuck over yourself. Realize that there's a bigger picture. Otherwise, you're gonna ruin this all for everybody. WCW 2.0. That's it. That's all I have to say.
yeah, I feel like that's a good way to fucking wrap it up there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm upset. It is what it is, but I mean, we went over a lot. Went over, had a great show. I mean, I don't want to. I'll end on the positive note that it's football. Fantasy is back. Football is back. Everything's, I mean, just while that's all wrapping up, and sure enough, that'll all get figured out, whatever beforehand. AEW is still going to be the best. They had Clash at the Castle. They're all mad that the Drew McIntyre didn't win. 60,000 Europeans freaking out that he didn't win. It is what it is. AEW, that was it. NFL, MLB, anything else? I mean, besides that, we just wrap up and say thank you. Thank you to everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, no,
Thank
that's
you,
about
Troy.
it. We'll fucking get to you guys next week after a big fucking week one Bears win. How about that one?
Bears win. That'll be the only way I'll get me a little bit excited. Or yeah, I'm gonna say this and jinx it now, but hopefully the Sox stay competitive, but they won't because they suck. So either way, fucking yeah. Hopefully you get your fantasy wins. Stay in tune with that. Maybe some fun stuff tomorrow. Check that out. Till then, thank you for listening. Code SYS9 on PointsBet. Thank you, Troy. Take your notes, Alan. Take care. Woo!